Make sure y'all like and share the video. This is very important stuff that you gonna need to know. So Trump believed that Americans can handle the truth on UFOs. There's so much stuff going on in the world and there's so many distractions. And UFO and UAP is a big psyop that's gonna lead to a new kind of reality we live in that is going to have this new aerial threat. They need a new face of terrorism. And I'm telling you, the UAP UFO propaganda is not no big cover up. There's no such thing as whistleblowers. The government and the mainstream media platforms will never let a whistleblower come on their stuff to tell the truth about the government on the same platforms that the government used to keep us all dumbed down on. Ain't no such thing as a whistleblower. These people are there to paint a narrative. And I'm going to tell you the truth right now. When people say, well, we're not alone. You're right. There is another entity among us. We ain't alone, humans. There's a humanoid among us. See, I believe aliens are real. I don't believe that they green men from outer space. I think that they're ancient transhumans that cheated death back in ancient Egypt and all of that. And that they come from a parallel universe where AI took over. But they found out how to time travel. So they start colonizing all of these other universes and parallel universes where the people didn't figure this stuff out yet. And they colonizing it with this futuristic technology, which is really ancient technology. But y'all ain't ready to go that deep with it. I just want to let y'all know what's going on a political level, on a news level. Then I'm going to give you all my little weird theories about aliens, what the earth is, and even my conspiracy on what I think, my conspiracy theory on what I think this psyop is all about, because it is a psychological operation. The government ain't all of a sudden say, oh, let's put these declassified papers out there. We want to tell the truth now. We've been hiding this from y'all for years. Right? We want to tell the truth now, but they don't want to tell the truth about nothing else. They just want to tell the truth about aliens. Man, it's something very fishy about that. But what we're going to be doing today is reviewing a video from Convoy, from News Nation. And we're going to hop right into that video. Make sure we ready to go, though. Hold on. We're going to hop right into that so we can let y'all see what's going on. And then I'll give you my analysis and break everything down. But while I'm playing the video, I will be doing a review of it and reacting. So let's get it.
Is the government finally coming clean about what it knows about UFOs?
Hell
There's a
no.
new report by the Federal Aviation Administration that admits in 2023 an orange and white UFO crashed into an Air Force fighter jet during a routine training mission. And the UFO caused so much damage to the $60 million jet that it was forced to land. And that is not the only new evidence that they released. Trump's top science advisors recently admitted that the government may have anti-gravity technology.
Now watch this. Whenever you hear the words anti-gravity, now here's the truth about what's going on. The technology that we see, it's government technology. It's advanced government technology. If it was any kind of threat that they didn't know about, they would shoot it down immediately. You can't fly a drone over the White House right now without it getting shot down. You can't fly a drone over Area 51 right now and not get shot down. Not only are they going to shoot your drone down, they're going to track it back to you and you're going to do some serious jail time for breaching these top secret airspaces. They're going to make an example out of you. The question is, why are they just allowing aliens to fly over government headquarters, top secret areas, while they hold press conferences? Because if it was you, wouldn't be no talking involved. So This is a government seeded operation, psychological operation, where they want the masses to believe in aliens and UAPs. And I know why. You ready for it? Why do they want to convince us that the stuff we see in the sky ain't man-made? Let me give you a little history lesson real quick. Let me give you a little history lesson. Watch this. So what we're looking at here is called the Byfield-Brown effect. Some people call it anti-gravity. Let's take a look at it. Some people call it levitation. So there was a dude by the name of Byfield-Brown way in the 60s who was telling gravity. What he was telling people was that basically he had what we would call flat earth knowledge. You gotta know what the earth is in order to know that ain't no such thing as anti-gravity. This aircraft ain't a contradiction, or it's not defying gravity. It's proven that gravity don't exist. And that the nature of physics, as we've been told, is wrong. It's not using no trickery or otherworldly technology. Now, what you got to realize is this kind of technology that they're using in the sky. What I'm showing you here is primitive experiments that they was doing in the 30s and all that when they would first start diving into what's called anti-gravity technology. But let me see if I can find this guy for you. His name Byfield. Let me pull this dude up because this is gonna be very important for your research, so you can free your mind. So there were two geniuses back in the day, and this was probably around the 40s, 30s. A scientist by the name of Byfield, another by the name of Brown. This was before we went to space. This was when people still thought the earth was flat. See, we think flat earth is some new stuff. You need to understand how the UAP thing tie into flat earth and how anti-gravity is just a code word for no gravity. Listen, the technology we see in the sky is the government experiment with Tesla patents, Byfield-Brown patents, Egyptian technology, Mayan Olmec technology. Our ancestors were aviational geniuses, and they didn't have airplanes. They had something called Vimanas, and this was the technology that Adolf Hitler was trying to reverse engineer into. This is the most efficient form of air travel, and it make our airplanes today look like primitive technology. We know, if you're familiar with Vimanas, then I don't have to go that deep about it. But this was aviational technology that was so advanced. There's still a lot of scientists that are in wonder about these ancient machines that have been spoken about. But let's pull up what Hitler was into. Let me show you some. Because the H-man with the crazy mustache was into changing the way that humans fly. They probably didn't tell you that. Hitler was in a Time magazine. Everybody in the world loved this man because he was like the Elon Musk of his time. You talking about a technological genius. Remember that the TV come from Germany, right? This everything we damn near enjoying in the world today comes from Nazi Germany, y'all. And don't you find it crazy that simply mentioning this man on a video might get me demonetized, even though Germany would have took over the world and had the first internet, video games, you name it. Very advanced. That's every country in the world had to come together and stop this man, not because he was such a threat. He was reverse engineering the technology of the ancestors quicker than everybody. It wasn't a space race. It was a race to see who can reverse engineer these ancient patents that we just found in this tomb. It was a race to see, okay, we all as governments got these patents in our land. I don't care what country you in. If you got archaeology and historians, they digging up a lot of stuff that's letting them know that the ancestors were very advanced. And these people ain't sharing that with the masses. They turning it into folklore mythology, and they're reverse engineering it. But the problem about reverse engineering ancient aviational technology, you can't hide it from nobody. The only way you can test this equipment out is to put it in the sky. And the moment you do that, everybody can see it. How do you hide this stuff and test it right in front of us? If I was the government and I said, look, I got these ancient patents. It is the most advanced aircraft known to man. And if we can get this right, man, we will learn how to fly like the ancients. But we'll tell them this is new technology. This is future technologies, ancient stuff, reverse engineered. But listen, if I was going to be experimenting with this ancient aircraft in the sky, knowing everybody gonna see it, people gonna say, what the hell is that? It ain't moving like an airplane, and it ain't a star. Wait a minute. People gonna start, say, hey, what we seeing stuff in the sky. So the government wanna get ahead of the narrative and give you a narrative before you start scratching your head, figuring out that this is government technology. All right. And that's what the UFO UAP psyop is all about. It's the government. They're able to test this advanced aircraft in front of the whole world, and they can hide it right in front of our face with a psyop by giving you the story. If I knew, like, just think about this right here. What's wrong with my hold on, everybody. 1 second. Think about this right here, right? What if the world never seen a helicopter? What if the world never saw a helicopter before? And we was teaching them that, we don't got helicopter technology. We just got cars and ground technology, right? What if the world believed that? And what if our government found out helicopter technology when everybody just had basic cars? No one was able to fly in the sky. I'm just giving a scenario. And the government said, wait, we got this. We found this ancient patent, and this device will allow us to fly in the air, right? The only problem is we got to test the thing, and everybody gonna see it when we fly it up there. And so what they would have to do is come up with a psychological operation or a narrative. They would have to say, well, look, we gotta test this stuff in the sky. What are we gonna say to the people when they ask, what is this? Because we told them we don't know how to fly. So we'll tell them this is a whole nother creature. It must be an alien, because we don't know how to do that. So listen, our government got technology that defies physics. It debunks gravity. And instead of them saying, we lied to y'all about the nature of reality, the ancestors were using levitation and all that, and now we figuring out how they did it. When we look in the sky and see stuff that goes against everything we've been taught about physics, they just say, that's a whole nother creature from another planet, and it can do stuff we can't do. Right? Now, let me show you how you know they lying, right? These booger spears and UAPs and UFOs, they keep crashing all over the place. So let's use Occam's razor. If this was some advanced alien from a whole nother planet, it sure is a clumsy ass pilot when it get to the Earth after flying light years across the damn universe. Now let me show you some. This alien is flying light years across the universe from a whole nother galaxy. It's going past planetary orbitable pools. It's going through micrometeoroids, macrometeoroids. This thing has have a tough journey to make it from its galaxy to ours. It's proven by making it from its galaxy to ours through the harshness of traveling through space that it's a damn good pilot. But the moment it get to the Earth, it's just crashing everywhere. Do that sound like an alien from another planet or the military testing out some new technology? Because if the military testing out some new aviational technology, they're gonna crash a lot first. They're gonna do a lot of crashing. Now, what's the chances of that versus an alien came light years across the universe, way to Earth, and all of a sudden it forgot how to fly now? The journey that you just left from is way more harder than just flying through an open air sky, man. You just literally was dodging galaxies, black holes, asteroids, comets, and you traveling at light speed. Because in order for something to make it to its world, to ours, it got to travel faster than the speed of light, because everything in the universe traveling away from everything at speeds that's like 100 and some million miles per second or some crazy stuff like that, these ridiculous numbers. So for anything to make it from one galaxy to another, you got to be traveling at so many times the speed of light. That mean if you made it to Earth, you're very advanced. You ain't gonna be crashing all over the place being goofy. This is the government testing technology right in front of our face, and they got a story to hide it, and they can test this stuff. And nobody will say, well, because you say, well, why would they hide it, Sanchez? The technology that they playing with, it defies everything they've taught us about gravity, Earth, and physics. It shouldn't exist if the Earth is a ball. The technology that we're seeing and the nature of the universe as they tell us, all of this stuff is based on flat Earth. But what I want to go into, is that a lot of this technology we see is so advanced. It's very advanced aviational aircraft. I'm talking about your mind couldn't comprehend it, because we're talking, it goes into, it's the way that this thing generates its vortex, the mood, the way we see, it also can serve as a time traveling vehicle. And this the part no one wants to talk about, because no one want to be laughed at. The Nazis was into some very deep technology. We're talking time travel. We're talking Vimana technology. And this is what the Mayans were into. That's why they were said to be time travelers. They had the same stuff. But the stuff we see in the sky is the governments of the world. They're reaching another level of technology. And the new level of technology that we about to go into, if they really break down to you the physics of it, it'll debunk everything they've been teaching us about the nature of this place. So that is why it's a big cover up. They got to test it in front of you. You're going to see that, wait a minute, that shouldn't be doing that. Why this thing is defying gravity, anti-gravity is what they call it. And it shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. Anti-gravity is their way of saying any kind of technology that goes against what we taught y'all. And anything that goes against what they taught us, they can't say that's ours. That'll give up the whole conspiracy then. Because think about it. If they own up to that's they stuff in the sky, we're going to ask them, how are y'all able to defy gravity? And they will have to admit, we don't defy gravity. Gravity just don't exist. We're within a medium like fish in the ocean, and we can make technology to manipulate ourselves. Once we get off the ground, we like a fish off of the ocean floor. You just kind of floating in the water. But see, the thing about us, we are more heavier than the medium that we live in. So if we don't have the technology to keep us off the ground, we're going to fall back to where we at, and it ain't because nothing pulling on us called gravity. is simply the law of density. Things that are heavier than the medium that they're in will sink. And if they're lighter than the medium that they're in, they'll float. And if they can find a way to find an equilibrium to cancel out their weight, then they can float too, even if they are heavier than it. And that's where technology come in. The only thing stopping us from levitating wherever we want is our weight. We're heavier than the air around us. But the ancestors had ways to manipulate the physics of this place. And they knew what the earth, if you know what the earth is, you can manipulate it. They're not teaching us what the earth is, but they're experimenting with technology that's based upon what the earth really is. The sky above you is an ocean. You're like a fish at the bottom of the ocean, and we're trying to learn how to swim with this technology. The ancestors had all kind of technology that can manipulate in the sky in ways that we could only imagine. Because all you ever saw was a helicopter and an airplane or a jet. But the ancestors had aviational vehicles that'll make that stuff look like Flintstone technology. And one of those technologies was the Vimana. And that's what we're seeing today. So, real quick, right? The government is gonna stay. You know what? Here's my theory before I play the video, because I want to already give you the facts and what I think, and then we finna break the video down. But all of this stuff, why would they have advanced technology, but they don't want us to know it's theirs? Because they're finna be using it against us. Listen, Henry Kissinger said about a decade ago, they gotta depopulate the earth in order to create this new world order. And what that is, the new world order is a digital government where AI is policing humans. I'm gonna say that again. We're at the brink of that time now. In order for them to manifest that, the AI systems of tomorrow is not going to be able to police an earth with 10 billion people on it. The systems have their limitations, but they want this system to be a worldwide government system that's interconnected with the Starlink or whatever. But here's the thing. You got to reduce the earth population if this going to be feasible. You see what I'm saying? Everything they doing is about control right now. And it's too many of us for real. They've been talking about depopulation. Every time Trump is in office, we lose a lot of people. Let me not bring up the pandemic. All I'm saying now is Trump just signed some new laws to basically give Elon Musk control over the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. I got a stream coming up on that. But they about to terraform the earth because they're the people that's got us believing in aliens and UFOs. They are the aliens and UFOs, and they have a non-human agenda. They're turning the earth into whatever planet they're from. They're terraforming the place, and us too. And I'm going to be getting deeper to that when I go into this Environmental Protection Agency, the new regulations that they just passed or that they just did away with. But that's another topic. All of this going to play together with a staged alien invasion. In order them to get the sky ready for what the Bible prophesied about the Antichrist doing signs and wonders in the heavens and deceiving many. Because think about this. If you wanted to wipe out billions of people in a few years, because it'll take so many years to get rid of billions of people, they trying to do that in like a few decades. You're going to need some advanced technology to reduce the earth population to what Henry Kissinger was talking about. And what other way to do it than aerial attacks, because you can cover more ground from the sky. And once you start dropping stuff down at your own people, and you don't want them to know that they're being attacked by their own government for the New World Order agenda, you'll say, we don't know who that is up there attacking us. Everybody is prepping the stage for these UAPs and UFOs to start attacking. And then when they do it, guess what the government gonna say? It's way more advanced than us. We don't know what to do about it. We just gotta pray. It's smarter than us. Think about it. The government is admitting this stuff is way more powerful, stronger, and advanced than us. How you know it's not from another world is because it's made out of all of the elements that's on our periodic table. The Boogosphere is made out of iron, steel. It's made out of regular metals we got on Earth. Now, this is what you got to realize. All of these UAPs and UFOs that's crashing and falling out the sky, they picking it up with their bare hands. We would never handle alien material with our bare hands, people. That's right. People, if there's first of all, everything in the sky is mapped out. We know what's in the sky at any given moment. We know what's in the ocean at any given moment. We can tell you right now where the biggest school of dolphins is at right now, because we got a radar network all around the world, oceans and the world sky. Is not nothing in the sky that we don't know about. Everything that's flying in the sky right now, it is a blip on someone's radar. It's a little dot. We know it's up there. In other words, can't no unknown entity just come into American airspace and we don't know it's there. So our government get paid to police the sky and the air. They got to know what's up there. So the fact that there have been something in our sky that has been unidentified since the 40s make me want to say y'all doing a horrible job, man. Y'all doing a horrible job. Especially when you think about that the stuff that's in the sky is crashing into jets. So it's clumsy as hell. You mean to tell me you got these advanced creatures from a whole nother galaxy? They made it way to Earth without crashing into a micrometeoroid. They made it way to Earth without crashing into a macrometeoroid. They made it way to Earth without crashing into a comet, none of that. And listen, they're traveling at speeds that's like 10 times the speed of light. Because again, in order for you to make it from one galaxy to another galaxy with the rate that the universe is expanding, you got to be going way many times faster than the speed of light. So check it out. These aliens are traveling so many times faster than the speed of light and they ain't crashing into shit. But soon as they get to Earth, they get clumsy as hell, y'all. Soon as they get to Earth, they start bumping into every goddamn. It's like the goofy button come on, people. and if I'm an alien, I gotta look at my pilot and say, man, what the hell are you doing? We just flew light years across the universe at 10 times the speed of light, and we didn't crash into nothing. How the hell are we flying in Earth open atmosphere? There's nothing in our way but a couple of human pilots, and we keep bumping into them. People are just so dumb. People are so dumb. Drop a one if y'all can hear me. If y'all can see me. I'm going to read all of these donations. I just want to keep my energy. Let me keep. Drop a one if y'all can hear me. If y'all can see me. We need to know that we still streaming right quick. Drop a one. So The aliens are from another planet and another world. And last time I checked, all of these planets had their own family of elements on their periodic table. People, we're so dumb. Let me tell you what I mean. What I mean is, you never think if the alien aircraft that's falling out the sky is made out of iron, steel, it got computer chips in it. This is man type, this stuff weird. How they trying to make it like this stuff so advanced, but when you really think about it, it ain't like the elements come from another world. It's regular aluminum. It's regular stuff that we got right here on Earth. How are these aliens able to use aluminum, iron, steel, all of the elements we got, and fly light years across the universe, but we can't do it? See how people don't use their mind? Our government is telling y'all we don't have the kind of technology and elements that can withstand this kind of flight, because you got to travel so many times the speed of light. Any kind of physical element you using is gonna liquefy. It's gonna go to this plasma state where it's almost like a lightning bolt versus steel, aluminum. All of the elements will transcend their natural state when you travel at these rates. And if you want an idea of how this works, if you ever watch Star Trek, when they hit the light speed button, the whole ship turn into a lightning bolt, and it goes into this like lightning bolt phase, plasma state. And then it goes back to a solid ship when they slow down. That's the nature of physics, for real, for real. That ain't no lie that either side, everybody know that that's the way matter works. But the point is that the only thing that can transcend the physical matter at these rates is the human soul. And all of the technology that they're making is them reverse engineering the concept of the soul leaving the body. That's the real way we travel to heavens. But I ain't gonna go there, which is a whole nother lecture I got to do, because that's part of the psyop, because this is a new religion on Earth. And I'm gonna show you why the Vatican is involved and all of that. But I don't want to be all over the place. I just want to break down this video and what the propaganda is all about, a foundation of the psyop, basically. If I'm the government and I want to use Tesla said that the technology we see in the sky, it can destroy the entire Brooklyn Bridge within 5 minutes. People say, well, yeah, Tesla had a little bitty device that if you hit it, it can do that. They have scaled that technology up as aerial attack technology that's sort of like an EMP. You can have a certain radius over area and everything in that area will be decimated. And when you see people using technology out of a sci-fi movie, if you saw some shit in the sky right now moving like a Vimana, making a weird little vortex sound like an electromagnetic energy field, it'll be like you standing near an energy plant, that little buzzing sound. But this thing will have so much voltage and energy, it can decimate entire cities, and it ain't nothing but the size of like a little bitty mansion. The Vimanas are not that big. It's just the technology is something we got to start getting. And I'm going to start doing videos to show y'all deep about the technology, but I want to show you about the agenda right now, the psyop. And what that is this. The government got the technology right now to reduce the Earth population to under 1 billion. It's 10 billion people on Earth. The higher up you go, the more people die when you do an aerial attack. They're using EMP type technology from the upper layers of the atmosphere. You can decimate entire states this way. Think of it this way. The higher up you raise a flashlight, the bigger the triangle of light get. That's how much space they able to cover. The higher up they go, the triangle base just expands. They got some technology that can be assigned a certain area from an aerial position, and it can lock itself into place in that position in the upper atmosphere. And this thing ain't shooting like no missiles or nothing. It can do more damage. See, let me show you something. In World War II, the problem that they had was they was it was the first time we was kind of doing attacks from the air. So they had these big bombs mounted to these planes. And the military science turned into a race who can design the best aircraft to carry the most firepower. Because if the thing was, if the more missiles and bombs I want to drop, I can't fly that high now. If I want to have a bunch of missiles in my plane, it's gonna weigh a lot, so I can't fly that high. So with all these missiles, I'm still gonna only be able to target a little bitty area, because the purpose of striking from the sky is so that you can cover more space. But the catch to that is the higher I go, the less amount of missiles I can hold. So all of the militaries got busy saying, who can create the strongest aircraft, but it's the lightest? Meaning that the aircraft don't weigh that much, but it can carry a lot of weight. And it became this thing to where, what if we can make aircraft that weigh less than the load it carry? That would defy gravity. And once you start reverse engineering that concept deeper and deeper, you start creating what's called Vimana aircraft. And the ancestors had mastered this because they knew there was no gravity. We exist within a medium that can be manipulated with technology. Just like fish in the ocean don't go to the ocean floor, it ain't that they're not heavier than the water they're swimming in, right? They should sink to the bottom. But the fish is using the way that the fish body is built, makes it and by the way, the fish don't sleep being still, is always moving. But the fish is kind of like treading water at all times, but it ain't losing no energy. The fish has found the way to some of these fish, they constantly moving. And you'll get tired though, in your medium. How can a fish swim this long and you can't run that long in your medium? The fish have found a way to move within the ocean to where it's able to cover more distance than energy it gives. If I want to walk to the store, that little bitty distance costs us so much energy. But the fish have found the way to move so efficiently within the ocean that it don't use a lot of energy to cover a lot of distance. And the fish have mastered this science so much that the fish can pretty much move indefinitely. It has learned how to move in the ocean so that the ocean don't tire it down. And it's using technological concepts that we're reverse engineering. That's why your airplane's shaped like a fish. Your airplane is swimming in water. It ain't flying in air. The air around you is no different than the ocean that the fish in. It's just least dense. The fish and the airplane is doing the same thing. But here's the thing, right? There are some things in the ocean that moves like aliens. And if you was a fish, you would say, that shit moving like a Vimana. And you may say, is that a fish? Is that one of our species? Yes. There are some other so that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at what's happening in the ocean, it's happening on land. We are a creature that is at the bottom of our ocean bed. We're trying to learn how to fly up there to the surface, which is space. Think of a crab at the bottom of the ocean. Why you think the sky blue? The sky blue because you're at the bottom of an ocean. And guess what? If you go up high enough, you will get above the ocean surface like a scuba diver coming up for air. And it's a whole nother realm above that surface. Like a fish in the ocean seeing above the surface for the first time. That's us trying to go to space. But the reason we haven't went to space yet is just like a fish at the bottom of the ocean. There are different ocean currents traveling in different directions in layers. So if the fish is small, when it's trying to come up from the bottom of the ocean, it got to be able to penetrate these invisible waves that's coming. They call underwater waves, these underwater currents. This creates like ethereal barriers for animals in the ocean. It separates them in their layer. And it's certain animals that can't go up above a layer or down above a layer based upon these invisible currents blocking them in. And this is the nature of the ethers and the layers of the atmosphere. We're at the bottom of an ocean, and there are several layers of ethereal currents going in different directions. They call the ethers. And trying to penetrate these things is such a headache with the technology we got. The higher up you go, the currents get even stronger. Meaning that the technology not only got to be good enough to ascend to these higher levels, while it's climbing, it got to fight. Imagine yourself trying to climb Mount Everest, but while you climbing Mount Everest, you got to fight Mike Tyson while you're doing it. That's the challenge of getting through the Van Allen belts. It ain't, if you think climbing Mount Everest is a challenge, imagine climbing Mount Everest while trying to fight Bruce Lee while you're doing it. That's the challenge of breaking through these ethereal barriers. Good luck. So the technology that they're creating is them at the baby phases of learning how to breach these barriers. Now, the ancestors had the technology to travel in these upper layers of the atmosphere and penetrate these barriers, these invisible ceilings. They had the technology to do that, which is why when you look at this technology, it's on a level that seems to be where the stars at sometime. Sometime you may even mistake this stuff for a shooting star. And then you may see, well, hold up, that ain't a star because it just stopped and then moved over here and zipped right here. And stars don't do that. They just go in one direction and fade away. But I swear, whenever you see somebody say, man, it wasn't a star, it was an alien, you need to believe them. They just calling it alien because they don't know what to call it. It's advanced aerial technology, advanced aviational technology. This was the stuff that the Mayans and all of them were on, man. We just now catching up to how advanced they were. They was already in these upper layers with their aviational tech. So, once you create technology that can breach these upper layers, that also comes with a newfound EMP sort of vortex weapon. Because why, Sanchez? Well, the way that the Vimana work, it generates this big energy field around it that propel the thing forward with its own vortex wind. You know when a car traveling and it's got this like wind around it, if it's not moving, it's just still, but once it's moving, it's now got this wind that's around it traveling. The ancestors found the way to use your own like energy bubble that you create with motion to actually power you and use to help you propel and fuel your own vehicle, a free energy vehicle, meaning this is the concept. If energy is motion, when your car moves, the motion of your car should fuel your car. We think so backwards today. What they taught us to think is when my car moves, I need to put more energy in it, more fuel in it. They trained us that way so that they can create a monopoly with the gas industry. We was waking up in the 40s to the nature of the earth. But if we would have woke up, they wouldn't have been able to create the petroleum scam for the past couple of decades and create this inflation, this generational wealth gap of poverty on the earth. And that's due to them telling us we spend more money to create energy. What they basically telling us is that it costs more money to create energy than the energy itself. And that gives inflation to where the rich stay rich and poor get poor. So the price we paying for energy it's a debt system. It turns into where we're basically slaves to a debt grid. It ain't an energy grid because it's taking our energy. The truth is that energy is a byproduct. It is the most abundant thing in nature, but they turned it into a scarcity. The basic concept behind the Vimana was that if energy is motion and motion is energy, when my car moves, then that movement of my car would power my car. So the ancestors found the way to turn the very motion of their car into a way to put the energy back right into the car. And so no one needed to fill up their gas tank or pay money at a charging station every time the energy run out. Y'all think Tesla is the answer to inflation and the fuel scam? That's a lie. And the people who want to know why this is important, everything in the store costs how much it costs because of the energy. It starts at the transportation. How much it costs to move this sugar to your grocery store. When they say, man, this stuff costing more and more money, that's called inflation. The excuse that they give us for inflation is the energy crisis. Basically, what they're saying is science is still trying to figure out how to create a better way to clean energy so that we don't basically, most of the energy we generate, we lose it. So when we create the energy systems that we see in the world today, they're burning things and they're doing it a primitive way. Most of the energy that's created is lost. We lose most of the energy that we generate before it even get to your house. Why, Sanchez? The dumb way that we generate it is not sustainable, efficient. And they say that, they admit to that. We need sustainable system, but they don't want it because it'll stop the doggone generational wealth gap. Because because think about this, right? Most of the energy we generate, we lose it because we generate it in a dumb way. But watch this. Guess who pay for all of the energy we lose? Me and you. That'll be like McDonald's charging you for all of the French fries that it dropped on the floor. Check this out, right? If I own McDonald's and I know if I'm spilling French fries, every French fry that I spill, somebody still got to pay for that out of their tax dollars. Guess what? You gonna see a lot of French fries on the floor in my McDonald's, buddy. And it ain't cause we clumsy and cause we goofy. It's because that's a glitch in the system. You telling McDonald's, even if they spill French fries, we gonna pay for it. Well, they gonna spill them. That's free money. So the energy people in the world are saying, we so damn advanced, we went to the moon and we can upload human consciousness, but we don't know how to make efficient energy systems. We can put a monkey soul inside of a computer, but we don't know the best way to power our goddamn computer itself. Did that make sense to y'all? Do you know how cheap shit will be if it was free to make it? The cost of a thing literally equates to how much energy it went into creating the thing. If I'm buying a piece of bubble gum and it take this much energy to make it, but they wasted this much energy to make it, and I gotta pay for the wasted energy too, then the bubble gum gonna cost too much. Everything in your world costs too much because of the clumsy way they're generating energy on a foundational level, and that's creating a class system called rich and poor, because the people who wasting the energy don't gotta pay for it. Just like McDonald's, if the customers got to pay for the French fries you drop on the floor, then McDonald's is gonna get rich even though they goofy as hell. Does that make sense? How are y'all getting richer the more that y'all waste? That's called a debt system, dude. Now, no one never broke down to you the debt system like that. So hit the like button, hit the share button. This is why they're trying to censor me. People like to say it's a debt system, but they don't really understand why. It's a debt system because if I'm McDonald's and I get paid for the fries that I waste, watch this. I can waste more fries than I can sell. Hello. The moment I find out that I'ma still get paid for the fries that I wasted, and I know that I can just sit here and waste fries all day, I can waste way many fries than I can sell. The people in power ain't getting rich by selling you products. They getting rich by taxing you for energy. These products will sit on a shelf and end up in a landfill in Africa somewhere. You got to see how the scam is being created with government contracts. They ain't getting rich by selling you Nikes and shit. They getting rich by selling you the space program and UFOs. But ain't nobody tying it all together. So the thing about this is this right here, right? The UFO technology debunks everything they taught us about the earth, which is why in order for them to test this stuff right in front of us, they got to say that didn't come from us. Whoever flying that, they know some secrets about the universe or something that just defies gravity and defies physics. And they rather say that defies gravity than guess what? That proves gravity don't exist. That's right. Now, if the government gotta admit that they're using the technology that defy gravity, the question people gonna ask them is, why aren't we rewriting the physics books? That's right. That's why the government want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to use advanced technology that debunk everything they teaching us about the nature of the earth right in front of us. So to do that, they got to psychologically program y'all that when you see this technology that go against everything they told you shouldn't be with physics, instead of you saying, wait a minute, that debunks gravity, they trained you to say, it defies gravity versus it proves it don't exist. You see what I'm saying? I'd rather somebody say defy versus it prove me wrong and expose that I've been lying to you. So guess what the word defy means? Let me give you the definition. To resist, to challenge authority. So this technology ain't challenging gravity. It ain't resisting your authority, gravity, Mr. Dada, right? It's proven you don't even exist. That's right. Anti-gravity technology is technology that defies gravity. This stuff isn't resisting gravity or challenging gravity. It's proving that gravity has just been bull crap. So you got to keep that in mind, that the big part of the psyop that you need to write down in your notes is that the reason they want to say that this is alien technology is because of its anti-gravity capabilities. Our physics is all based upon gravity existing. The moment we start making technology that is based upon the fact that gravity just ain't there? Either the people that's creating that technology doing some sort of magic wizardry, or we was wrong about physics. Now, which one you think it is? Because the technology, they finding it. They picking it up off the ground. It's falling out the sky because the aliens are so clumsy. And guess what? The stuff is made out of basic elements that we can find right here on Earth. How come the aliens got the same kind of elements in they planet that we got on Earth if they from another world? Why don't we get otherworldly elements? How are the aliens able to use the same elements we got and travel light years across the galaxy using steel, aluminum? But we can't use that and do it. What they know that we know, because they sure got the same stuff we got, apparently. Let's play the video, but that's the psyop anti-gravity aliens. There are no aliens defying gravity. It's the government knowing that gravity is bull crap and that the earth is flat, and they're creating technology based upon the truth about our reality while teaching you on a globe. And the world will fight to keep the lie going. Let's finish the video.
Is the government finally coming clean about what it knows about UFOs? There's a new report by the Federal Aviation Administration that admits in 2023 an orange and white UFO crashed into an Air Force fighter jet during a routine training mission. And the UFO caused so much damage to the $60 million jet that it was forced to land. And that is not the only new evidence that they released. Trump's top science advisors recently admitted that the government may have anti-gravity technology. Look at this.
Our passenger planes are slower than they used to be. Our trains crawl compared to those in other parts of the world. Our cars do not fly. We are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
Manipulate time and space. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised that hasn't been a bigger story. So why has the Trump administration decided to disclose all of this now? I want to ask former Pentagon UFO whistleblower and investigator Lou.
Never believe whistleblowers. There is no such thing as a whistleblower. This dude named Bob Lazar, they all work with the government. They work with the CIA and the FBI. This is what you call the counterintelligence program. They have to control the opposition, but we forgot that for some reason. It's like we're getting dumber and dumber.
Lou Elizondo. Lou, it's nice to have you with us. First of all, the UFO that crashed into the fighter plane, what do we know about that?
Well, the problem is that we really don't know much, and therein lies the challenge, right? When you have an incident involving a $40 million combat.
Yeah, how the hell you don't know much about it? Like I said, they got the only thing they want you to know is the technology you see in the sky. It ain't ours. So if we say, well, we heard some crashed into the airplane up there, well, we don't know nothing about it. This give them a free card to play dumb. It's like your son coming home and you know he got some information, but he playing dumb. That's what they doing. Well, we don't know. Bro, if it was anybody else that crashed into that jet, we'll know about it, trust me. And one could say, well, yeah, if the government testing this technology, chances are they're clumsy as hell. Not no aliens that just flew light years across the galaxy. Because an alien that can fly light years across the galaxy at speeds that's triple and quadruple times the speed of light and not crash into nothing, even though space is full of obstacles. And look at how fast you going, and you got to turn, and you got so far to go, and you didn't hit nothing. But soon as you get to Earth, you start bumping into helicopters and airplanes. This shows me that the military is testing this stuff. And if it's some kind of new aircraft out there that's going at these crazy speeds, chances are you may crash into a plane, a jet. That's very reasonable versus aliens doing it. What if you found out the government was testing technology in the sky that was putting everybody at danger because they trying to figure out how this stuff works, but they're flying around commercial jets, military people that's just trying to do their job. And if you tell the world, hey man, all of these planes keep crashing into UFOs, it's because the government trying to test this new technology, you know how many lawsuits that'll be? How do I test this technology for free? And if somebody get hurt, if somebody get unalive, I can cover myself. I can tell them, look, it's just aliens up there. So if you just so happen to be flying and some crash into the plane, guess what? Aliens. It ain't the government, so now they ain't liable. Even now they get to test this technology in the sky with no liabilities. They can just blame it on the aliens. Whatever happened, whatever go wrong. If some of this stuff contaminate an area, because with this boogosphere stuff, they starting to get real complicated with what they got inside of this stuff. But there can be so many possibilities and things that go wrong where the government can be liable with this kind of testing. And this kind of psyop is perfect. We can do our testing and we got a psyop going that's going to cover us on every level, because at the same time, we don't want them to even know we can do this. We don't want them to start thinking we lied about gravity and all that. So just tell them the aliens are resisting gravity. It's gravity resistant, like water resistant. No, this stuff is debunking the idea of gravity. This is bananas. Hey, I appreciate all the love. I see people supporting the show in the super chat and all that. I'm about to read it all in a second. I don't want to stop the energy that I'm giving. Let's play the video.
About aircraft, and only the details now are starting to be released through Freedom of Information Act and FAA. There's a problem. Now, we've been saying for the last 8 years since I've been out that there have been dozens upon dozens of these near-air collisions that have occurred with military and civilian and commercial pilots. This is not just happening with military aircraft. Now, this is the first time we heard of an actual mid-air collision, but some of these objects are coming so close to combat aircraft that they are literally splitting that combat formation right down the middle.
Now, let me show y'all what he's talking about. You know why? I've been researching this for a long time. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is from back in the day from Langley. Now, you can't make this up. I brought receipts that you ain't gonna get from nobody else. I'm gonna say it again. I got receipts you ain't getting from nobody else. Look at this image on the left right here. You can see two helicopters transporting a flying saucer. Did you hear what the man just said? Let me rewind it to you, bro, because something ought to sink in, and if it don't sink in, then I'll tell you what you should have got from this. Listen.
With military aircraft. Now, this is the first time we heard of an actual mid-air collision, but some of these objects are coming so close to combat aircraft that they are literally splitting that combat formation right down the middle. So you can imagine.
So think about this. This image I'm showing you right here is from the 40s. In the 40s, they had unidentified flying objects traveling right in the middle of military formations. Now, guess what, y'all? How about when the military planes get over the military base, no one see the flying saucer no more. But no one put two and two together and say, what if that's the military flying saucer? That's right. Bro, in the Air Force, they fly in certain patterns. And the alien is flying like an Air Force pilot. That's how I know it's men. That's a man. That's humans inside of there. Watch this. This went viral not too long ago. They said, hey man, the aliens made a triangle in the sky. And I meant to tell them, like, you meant the aliens or the Air Force, nigga. let me show you some. How come the aliens, watch this. How come the aliens, right? How come the doggone aliens learned how to fly like the Air Force? Because I'm going to tell you something right now. The Air Force fly in triangles. You know why? The fastest plane at the front, the ones at the back get to ride a free jet trail. The Air Force fly in triangle patterns, and it's for safety too. So this is normal in the Air Force. These triangular chevron patterns. You'll see this a lot at air shows and all of that. This just what we do, you know. So when you start seeing the aliens do what the Air Force do, you can start realizing our government is testing new aircraft. It's advanced aircraft. They don't want you to know about it yet. The government is so top secret. They've been passed a law where they can use the TV to lie to y'all. It's called the Smith-Mundt Act. Watch, I'm going to pull it up to you. The Smith-Mundt Act, it gives the government the right to lie to you. Look at that. So, you can look this up yourself. I think Barack Obama did this. But we might have to do a whole show on that. That allowed them to legally lie to you through the media. And it ain't like they need permission. They gonna do that anyway. But yeah, these are Air Force formations, man. The aliens are coming here. Think about this now. The aliens are so goofy that they keep crashing. But they such good pilots that they know how to do Air Force formations. You know what this sound like? That the UAP UFO psyop is a secret Air Force and SpaceX or space agency psyop to test advanced aircraft. And there may be pilots that die trying to test this stuff because it's new. It's new, so just like building a bridge, people had to die so you can drive across the Golden Gate Bridge. Bridge workers died. A lot of these airplanes we fly in, people died testing the first airplanes. You got people in the military, they in top secret pilot positions. And they able to test some aircraft that's damn near off the Men in Black, Tesla type shit. And that's what the military is doing. They're testing this stuff, and pilots are dying researching this technology. Stuff is crashing into planes, and they got to have a cover story to cover this up. And that's what the UAP UFO psyop is all about. Because what are the chances of, in the 40s, you had aliens flying right in the middle of helicopters, and we don't know what's going on. And here in 2025, we got aliens coming so close to military pilots that they flying right in the middle of them, but we still haven't identified them. We calling them unidentified. What are the chances of me flying right next to your ass for over 60 years and I'm still haven't been identified? This is a cover up. They can't identify it because it's their shit. It's theirs. And they're not going to shoot down their own technology. But again, if you fly a drone over Area 51, they're going to shoot it down. But if an alien fly over Area 51, they're going to have a conference. They've already breached everybody about this program that's on the top level to tell they people, don't worry about the objects on your radar that's moving crazy because those are aliens. It's so easy to fake this. And if you using underwater Vermonters, which they got, you got people in the Navy right now that swear to the fact that aliens are in the ocean too. Why? Because the same technology they testing in the sky, They testing it in the water, in the ocean too. The Air Force doing it and the Navy doing it. New aircraft above us and new, nautical vehicles below. Everything is getting advanced. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: if you work for the Navy and it's your job to police a certain area of America's waters, and you find yourself on a little dot or rig, a little rig in the Navy, you got to watch a radar. And you familiar with every dot on the radar. It's your job. But all of a sudden you show up to work and your chief say, listen, we have an important meeting. We need all of our people who surveying the water, surveying the air, to realize that there are some unidentified flying objects in the sky. And they telling the people in the Navy the same thing. There are unidentified technology in the ocean. And if you work for the Navy or the Air Force, you believe in aliens too. That's how it's a need to know basis. Y'all think that the entire military in on the lie, but everybody don't gotta be in on it. Most of them indoctrinated like us because they just looking at dots on a radar and they see a dot moving crazy. They asking a chief, hey chief, this dot is moving like nothing I never saw before. This is crazy, man. This is weird, chief. Chief, I got a dot on my radar that's making non-human movements. I never saw a plane do this, a helicopter do this. And the chief got to brief everybody that, yes, we are being visited by potential aliens. And if you see that stuff, don't worry about it. Ignore it. Now, why would a chief say that when you should be saying, let's go investigate it? It's because even in the military, they got the people at the bottom thinking it's aliens. It's a need to know basis. You got people in the military that'll tell you, man, I know aliens are real because I'm in the Navy and I watch the radar and I see stuff in the ocean that's moving in ways we can't explain. We can explain it. They just ain't telling you, little man. It's only a few people know the truth. Everybody else believe in the propaganda on the TV, even the people that's monitoring this stuff. But they ought to ask themselves, damn, my chief got me sending out the damn gangsters for little bitty sellers. Like, think about this. If you in the Navy and you watching your radar, your chief is telling you, anything that pop up on this radar that we can't identify and it ain't accounted for, let us know. Hit the emergency button. We got to send in the troopers to go investigate what this dot is on the radar. That's how the military work, man. If you in the Navy and some pop up on your radar and you got to alert somebody and say, look, send out the troops. They're going to drive out to that dot on the radar with them guns loaded. And if that thing don't identify why it's in our water space, they going to blow it the hell up. Because you got pirates, you got all kind of, we don't know if you're an enemy. So that's their job, to sit there and watch this radar. When some pop up that's unidentified, we send the firepower right to it. We don't wait. We don't hold a conference. Right? But with the aliens now, when that pop up on a troop's radar, they say ignore it. We still having conferences about it. We trying to figure. What you trying to figure? What y'all trying to figure out is how to fly this technology, because it's y'all shit. If it was something you couldn't identify, they would treat it like a foreign threat, y'all. Why the hell they having more press conferences than anything? You doing too much talking, man. You got some stuff in our sky that we can't identify. That's a problem, and y'all talking too much. Now, what if you hired a security company to watch your property, and the security chief kept telling you, hey, man, it's a dude that's walking on your property every night, but we still ain't got his identity yet. I'm firing y'all asses. It's a nigga been walking on my property for over 60 years and you ain't got his identity yet. He's still unidentified. Give me another company. Give me another damn company, man. The military got an object that's been in our sky since the 40s, and they still don't know what it is, and it's flying right next to them, y'all. Look. I would tell my security company, hey, man, that stranger, I watched my video back, and I saw that stranger walk right in between you and your guards. How you don't know what his name is and who he is if he on my property? We don't know, man. Get your ass, y'all are fired. Get the hell out of here. You hired a security company to police your property, and they've been letting the same motherfucker breach your property line for 60 years. And he walked right in between them, and they still don't know who he is. Get your ass up out of here, man. What kind of military job, Akbar? I guarantee you right now, if one of y'all niggas fly a drone over Area 51, they gonna identify your ass within 24 hours and lock you the hell up. That's right. But E.T. can fly right in between the damn military helicopters with his clumsy, no-flying ass because he keep crashing. And they can never ID this nigga. He's so mysterious and elusive. He flies in Air Force formations. He loves to be near military bases. But we just don't know who he is yet. He been flying right in between our top pilots for over 60 years, but we still haven't identified him yet. You can tell this to the dumb masses.
But some of these objects are coming so close to combat aircraft that they are literally splitting that combat formation right down the middle. So you can imagine how close
and they've been doing that since the 40s. Quit acting like it's something new. We've been testing this technology out since World War II, and we still ain't got it to where we want it to be yet. So we got to keep telling the same lies to new generations. But people in our time don't know that this was a lie they was telling in the 40s, and they still telling it. It's flying right in between our airplanes, but we don't know what it is. Man, this is a convoy. Anybody in the military know what the hell a convoy is? This is a convoy formation when we are guarding valuable property, dude. Whenever the military is escorting valuable property, we will travel in we will make a circle around it. We'll protect it. Our government is flying on the side of this saucer. It's because our pilots are inside of that thing, and we testing some very expensive government technology that they gotta protect. You can't have some dummy shooting some from the ground or messing this thing up. They rather it hit the helicopter than the actual saucer. That's how a convoy works. If you in the military, you're basically guarding certain property with your own life. So in a convoy, everyone is making a perimeter around the valuable asset so that if they shoot at the thing, they'll kill me, but at least this equipment get to make it to its destination. So your life ain't even worth this equipment. Matter of fact, this equipment is worth more than a soldier's life, because that's literally what a convoy is. It's me guarding some fucking supposed to be valuable government stuff with my life. And that's what these helicopters are doing. If anything try to shoot this down or interfere with it, they're gonna hit the helicopter first. Cause the government don't care about your ass. They just care about their technology. That's right. And niggas be so patriotic.
Combat aircraft fly when they're flying in formation. Now imagine a UAP coming in right between them. So this is nothing new. And I think, you mentioned earlier, why is the administration having the conversation?
Like, come on, man. Like, if anybody in the military shouldn't be falling for this. Like, we train some, especially Air Force people. These are common patterns that y'all know. Like, it can't be an alien.
with military aircraft. Now, this is the first time we heard of an actual mid-air collision, but some of these objects are coming so close to combat aircraft that they are literally splitting that combat formation right down the middle. So you can imagine how close combat aircraft fly when they're flying in formation. Now imagine a UAP coming in right between them. So this is nothing new. And I think, you
No, it ain't nothing new. Y'all gotta admit that. So when people like me pull up images like this, but see, the fact that it ain't nothing new just show you either our military is garbage or it's our equipment. And it's just a simple answer, it's our equipment. Because our military ain't garbage. How you know, Sanchez? Anybody in America right now, I don't care if you in Canada, if you sent a drone over Area 51, they will shoot it down and they will track it back to you and lock you up. They'll do that within a small amount of time. That's how I know our military ain't nothing to play with. If you think that there's something in the sky that's got them scratching their head, it's flying right in between our pilots, but we don't know what it is. It's so much, dude, get that out of your head, man. Come on now. These things keep crashing down left and right. So apparently the aliens must be clumsy pilots. So it's so much wrong here, right? The chances of this being alien technology is zero, but people sucking up the propaganda and the government know we're sheeple. We'll go for whatever they say.
You mentioned earlier, why is the administration having the conversation now? And I think it's because this has really become the worst kept secret in American history.
How? Now look, the worst kept secret. You see the programming? You see the programming? The worst kept secret. Bro, the worst kept secret is that there's stuff in the sky we can't identify. So why the fuck are we talking about it versus going identified? You see what everybody's saying? We need to talk about this. They want to turn it into a narrative and a conversation, but that ain't how you treat a national security emergency. When we have something flying around our damn airspace that may be a threat that we can't identify, we don't need to turn it into a big conversation. We need to turn it into a simple military operation where we start attacking everything in our sky that shouldn't be up there, just like we would do any other civilian. Anything flying in the sky that ain't supposed to be there, don't you know that the sky is being policed? Just like the ground. You just can't go to putting stuff in the sky like you want to and flying stuff like you want to. They got a grid. They got the sky being policed with a radar system. So when it's time for y'all to put something up there in the sky that's unidentified, they shoot it down and lock you up. But with this particular thing, let's just talk about it. You know why? They don't want to shoot down their own technology, y'all. You got to think, man. If the government is testing technology in the sky, they need a psyop that will make them direct the energy. Because people should be saying, why aren't we shooting it down? But people ain't saying that because they controlling the narrative. They're controlling our reaction, and we're not reacting naturally, because in a natural security emergency, ain't no talking, send in the fighter pilots. You got some flying around American airspace and we don't know what it is. We better find it out tomorrow or our military suck. And you know I'm not lying, because any one of y'all will get locked up within a week for flying a drone over the doggone Area 51. I don't care if you in Canada, they'll be able to track it to Canada. They'll track it wherever you at, bro. But with these things, they just want to hold conferences. Do you think these people will hold a conference if they felt threatened? When there's a serious situation going on and some dumb fool flying stuff over the White House and stuff, they don't have a conference. They don't say, you know what? there's an unidentified object over Area 51 right now. Let's go on Fox and have a conference. This is something we need to talk about with the public. This is the worst kept secret, and we need to start talking about it more. And I'm like, bro, we don't want our military trying to have an alien conversation with us if there's some unidentified stuff flying in our sky. Go protect our children and shoot that shit down. We don't want to talk to you about ET.
That's right.
If it was my shit, you would shoot it down. But the truth is, it's their shit, so they can't shoot it down. So let's just talk about it. These people testing their own technology right in front of you. And they got the perfect damn cover story to make you think, number one, it ain't government technology. Number two, well, if it ain't belonging to our government, get it out of our airspace. Anything in our airspace that don't belong to us gotta account for why it has breached our property. Just like we kicking out these immigrants on the ground, we gotta kick out any pirates in the air. If you're in our airspace and you ain't got permission to be there, we put you out of our airspace too, dog. It ain't just immigrants on the ground and the pirates in the ocean. The ocean is policed and the sky is policed. And I'm telling you, the way they handling this thing is not the way, like, if you're policing an area, anything breach the line that don't supposed to be there is met with strict resistance. You don't sit there and talk about it. Now imagine you hiring a security company and their job is to know everybody that come and go on your property. Anybody on your property that ain't identified as some unidentified guy, you need to identify them. That's what I'm paying you for. And if it take you over 60 years to identify this dude and he keep breaking onto my property, and every time I go to your chief, he say, trust me, man, we've been working with you for years. We got it all under control. We having another conference. And he slammed the door in your face and you hear the music and the laughing and you see them eating donuts and shit, having a good time. And you saying to yourself, well, damn, it's been an unidentified man come on my property every day for 60 years and my security that I'm paying still haven't identified them, but they keep holding these damn conferences. I would go and say, look, what the hell y'all talking about? The man walking around my property now, get off your ass and go and get him and let's identify him. He's right there. They keep saying it. These things are in the sky more and more everywhere we look. Okay, so that means we need to quit talking now, right? That'll be like my security company saying he coming onto the property more and more. And he's getting bold now because he's walking in between the guests. And you still don't know who he is? Nope, but we having another press conference. Bro, that's what the military doing right now, y'all, to us with our tax dollars and this UAP shit.
History. It's been 80 years of suppression and misinformation, and we're at the point now where I think the administration realizes that America can handle the truth.
Yeah, it does feel like more has been.
Guess what, y'all? America can handle the truth. What's the truth? Well, there's things in the sky that we don't know about them. So the truth is, we don't know shit. The truth is, there's these objects in the sky, but we don't know shit else to tell you about that. How is that the truth? You giving us a mystery. The truth is when you solve the damn mystery, not when you present one.
That's right.
And people are so dumbed down. Like, people been looking up in the sky for years, seeing stuff that they didn't know about. People been looking up all the time saying, bro, I don't know what to think about what I just saw. I just saw something in the sky that moved in a crazy way. All y'all doing is saying people need to know the truth from Trump. We see stuff in the sky that we can't explain. Well, you in the same boat as us, smart motherfucking guy. How are you? It's like all of us have been saying, hey man, it's stuff in the sky that we can't explain. And then this genius come along and say, hey y'all, I'm about to blow the whistle. I'm a whistleblower. I got the truth. Okay, tell us what truth you got. You ready? Because I'm a big whistleblower. I know the truth. Okay, give us your truth. It's stuff in the sky that I can't explain. Oh, nigga, that's the same thing I was fucking going. Get your ass up out of here, fool. This dumb shit. It's aggravating. We've been looking up in the sky for years saying, man, I'm seeing stuff I can't explain. And now the Trump administration want to bring out the whistleblower to tell us the big truth now. And his truth is, hey, I see shit in the sky I can't explain. Welcome to our world. We thought you was the whistleblower. You in the same boat we in, sir. Everybody want to play dumb.
Been trickling out over the last few years. You've been working with the FBI on their investigation.
You always got some whistleblower that's been working with the FBI, the CIA, and now he's gonna go on Fox News and tell you the secret and he gonna stay alive. The whistleblower worked for the Pentagon. He know all the secrets that the government don't want you to know, but he can tell you on Fox News and CNN. You know, the same platforms that do the presidential elections, the same platforms that alert us with wartime situations, these same platforms allow whistleblowers to come on there and leak top secret government information. You got to be a fool, man. Wake your ass up. And what does the whistleblower always say? The same shit we already know.
That's right.
They ain't there to challenge the status quo. They there to maintain it. I'm going to say that again. Real whistleblowers challenge the status quo. They don't go on mainstream media outlets maintaining the propaganda and alien motherfucking narrative. You've been working with the CIA and all them, and the big secret is there's aliens here and there's technology in the sky that we don't know about. Well, bro, we been knew all that. We been knew that. I thought your job was to be a whistleblower, not to go and then tell us the shit we already know. They ain't giving you nothing different. They giving you this so you don't get to the truth, and that you don't see it's really their technology. They got to see so that you don't figure out the truth and realize it's the military. The military got to come out and hide and give you a narrative. Oh, that's aliens. And the big secret that we've been hiding from y'all is that there's aliens here and we don't know what this stuff is. That's what the military allowing to happen. Bro, don't you know this is an act of treason? Everybody that worked with the government take an oath. And if you break that damn oath, you go to military jail. You don't get invited to CNN. People are so damn dumbed down, they think these people be real whistleblowers. They're fools. They're fools. If this dude was a real whistleblower, the moment he lead his interview, it'll be some niggas in black suits outside handcuffing him. You won't see him again. You think the military play about their goddamn oath? They don't make you take that oath for nothing. When you tell them people I'm going to shut my mouth and I'm not snitching and I'm not going to tell the secret, man, that can cost you your life. That can cost you your freedom, and it ain't no game either.
That's right.
Investigations, their FBI investigations. What can you tell us about what they're finding? Is there anything new there?
Yeah.
And the FBI and CIA just gonna let him come on there and tell top secret information that can put the country at risk, because apparently they kept the secret because they found out, because apparently it was confidential, right? But they gonna let some whistleblower just go on the news and spill all the beans and everything gonna be all right. Everything fine. Yeah, fucking right. If he was saying something they didn't want him to say, they would have been locked his ass up so quick for breaking his oath.
On their investigations, their FBI investigations. What can you tell us about what they're finding? Is there anything new there?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. First of all, America is getting a heck of their money spent very well with the FBI. I'm absolutely amazed how well they're doing. In fact, they're running laps around the Department of Defense's Arrow program that was established specifically to look at UAP. And the FBI team, it's a small but scrappy team of folks, are really doing one heck of a job. And I think if you look at Luna's recent statement that she said when she was asked about the FBI.
So they got the FBI and they got these alphabet groups in charge of handling all of the remains when this stuff crash out the sky. So whenever this stuff crash, they there on the scene to collect it so that they can be the first ones to hit the local media in that area and put the narrative out there. Because if you the military and you testing this technology and you launch it from Langley, but it lands in buttfuck Idaho somewhere, you need to have a FBI team in Idaho ready to recover that object, and they need to be ready to brief with the local media right after recovery to put the narrative out there that the higher ups want the people to have. This is a whole, come on, man. It don't matter where they stuff land at, and they don't know where it's gonna land at, because when you testing random advanced aircraft, anything can go wrong. You don't know what kind of problems to plan for. You don't know. It's unpredictable because it's new to you. You're figuring it out. So if something go wrong and this thing just crash into an elementary school somewhere, you need to have a cover story ready and a recovery team. And that's what's been going on. They recover the object, they clean up the debris, they send in the media folks from the FBI to come with the bullshit. You know, these aliens are real. We need to spend more money to investigate. So now they tax you even more while hiding the thing from you knowing it's theirs. It's just so sinister.
FBI meeting that we helped organize in the skiff, she said it was a 10 out of 10, and that I guess Arrow now has some explaining to do. So the FBI is doing fantastic, but also we can't forget about Tulsi Gabbard and the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, and the entire intelligence community. There are pockets of excellence that are working very, very hard behind the scenes also to try to help boost the FBI's efforts. And I think we're finally getting a
boost the FBI efforts to do what? Hold press conferences? To hold more press conferences?
Feeling, if you will, of the right people, the right resources, the right authorities to finally shed some light on this incredible mystery and give the information.
Shed some light on a mystery. Bro, when you shed some light on a mystery, you reveal the mystery. You just putting light on a mystery, saying, look over there, there's a mystery. And that's how you hide the truth, man. That's a deflection. The government said that they're shedding light on a mystery, when really they're pushing a narrative, making you think what they want you to think this stuff is, and it's hiding what it really is, which is their own stuff. We don't need y'all shedding no light on a mystery. We need you solving the mystery. And there's only one way to do that. When you see the stuff in the sky, shoot it down. Now, how hard is that? Look how close it's flying to you. He just told you this stuff is flying so close to the pilots, it's crashing into them. It's getting so close, it's splitting them right in the middle of their formation. Look at the image right here. How hard is it for you to just, listen, if this stuff this close to our fighter pilots, now this helicopter different. But you're saying, guess what we need to do now? We need to now start policing our airspace more aggressively.
That's right.
But here's what's crazy. Every time they recover these things, ain't no pilot in it. What's flying them? So they're just drones? They're drones that's the size of aircraft that's able to house a man. But it's a big drone. Of course, they got to conceal the identity of these pilots. These pilots probably don't even have a social security number. People, there are government programs out there that is so high tech and so secretive, they cover them with news stories like this and everybody in on it. And guess what else? The pilots that's flying a lot of these aircraft, I'm going to tell you some real shit. When they figure this stuff out, them pilots better move out of America. Why, Sanchez? Check this out. They was working with the Operation Paperclip scientists in the 40s. When they was figuring out a lot of the technology, the paperclip scientists was coming up missing. Because the way that the government worked, once we figure this thing out, the people who was involved, who we can get rid of, they get rid of. Because you know too much and they just gone like, this happens a lot. The government have these secret operations going on with these scientists. They'll figure out some new shit and then the government will wipe out all them scientists. Because that's how careful they is to keep secrecy. That I'm just letting y'all know this stuff is like, it's really deep. So the people at the top, they got a lot of money, a lot of power, man. They like outlaws. But just like the mob can kill you too to further their agenda.
Not only to Congress, but the American people.
We only have about a minute left, but the clip that we played in the intro, I just kind of find to be fascinating. The top White House science advisor saying that the U.S. has anti-gravity and something about time technology, almost like it almost.
Now watch this. I bet you he finna come with a way to deny that.
Just kind of slipped out. What are we to make of that?
They want y'all to think we getting this technology from the aliens. They ain't gonna say that, but they want y'all to put that together, just like with the Roswell incident. When they say, oh, these aliens are crashing all over the place, but all of a sudden with the alien crashes, we get new technology, just like with Roswell. And there's a reason for that. They not gonna tell you we stealing technology from the ancestors. That's what they doing, though. They reverse engineering ancient technology. But they can't come out and say, well, we get this technology from aliens, but they can get you to say it. They can come out and say, hey, man, the technology you see in the sky, it ain't our stuff. That's alien stuff. And then when the government finally figure out this technology and they come out with it, they've already primed the people to say, ooh, our government's got that technology from aliens, versus they got it from the Egyptians. They got it from the ancestors who was right about the nature of our reality the whole time, and it doesn't defy gravity, it debunks gravity. It's not anti-gravity devices, it's devices that don't even acknowledge the existence of gravity. Physics have been lying to us about what this place is for years, man, millennia. not millennia, but decades.
Well, you're talking about the engineering of the space-time metric, and that is something that we looked at in ATIP, and before that, the programs before mine, and certainly afterwards. This is nothing new. What is new is that the government is starting to become increasingly more transparent on what it knows about these incredible
And if we believe that, then we really dumb down.
enigmas that we call UAP.
Well, Lou Elizondo, we appreciate you coming on tonight. We appreciate you always fighting to find the truth and bring it to us. And I hope you have a nice weekend.
Yeah, these whistleblowers work for the government, and you can't really take them. You know, they're gonna give you the programming that they want the people to to cover this thing up, right? So they basically getting into vortex technology, which is what CERN is about, time travel, because we're the nature of our reality isn't physical, it's holographic, which is why physics is a scam. Nothing's physical about the world around you, and this particular hologram can be manipulated. So the Mayan, the Olmec, they knew that. They knew that you can open up a wormhole in Las Vegas and connect it to Tokyo, and I can walk right through the wormhole in my garage and be in Tokyo right now in a second. Because people don't understand how that works. They're thinking that reality is physical. That's why they don't see that. We're in a hologram. It's a holospheric light-based simulation, and you can penetrate the light. You can penetrate the light with a brighter light, and that is a laser beam that they're going to be creating with CERN that will be able to pierce through the veil, allowing them to go back and even revisit and see the early phases of the universe. So we're going to be achieving time travel just like the Mayans did with this vortex technology that they're calling anti-gravity technology. The same technology that the ancestors used to allow them to pierce through the veil, it also allowed them to propel through the ether. And it translated to aviational technology as well. So remember, when you say time travel, the key word is travel. And how do we travel? With vehicles, okay? So the same technology that's allowing them to travel aviationally in the upper atmosphere, the technology that we're calling Vimana technology, it allow man to propel at rates and speeds that start to transition outside of our so-called physical spectrum. Proven ain't nothing physical about this place, because you can warp strike right now. If I can accelerate, we're in like an ocean, right? Like fish in the water. And if a fish can start stirring up the water, it can create a hurricane right there. It can create a vortex right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can create a vortex to where it start to pierce through the layers, the states of matter, solid, liquid, gas, and then the fourth state of matter is ether, or what Sir William Crookes call radiant matter. And that's when everything become pure light. Like in Back to the Future, when he get real fast, he turn into a light ball, like the Star Trek ship. That's when you reach the fourth state of matter, the plasma state. That's the state that allow us to pierce through the veil and do what's called time travel. So there's a legitimate science behind Vimanas and time traveling. There's a legitimate science to it. The reason we don't think time travel is real is because we think yesterday is a day that we can't get back. It passed us and it's just gone. But that ain't how time is. We've been taught wrong about the nature of this place. So the ancestors were saying each day is its own parallel reality, and these parallel realities are just passing through the present like ripples, like waves in the ocean. So tomorrow is another parallel reality that's gonna come to you. And these realities are just passing through our space, allowing us to experience them because we're in each of these parallel realities. And so the ancestors said neither of these parallel realities went anywhere. They just passed you by. You can go back to some, you can go forward to some. That's time travel. You won't understand time travel if you don't understand the nature of our reality. Most people ain't gonna understand it because when you try to teach them about the nature of our reality and time travel, they laugh. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not buying it. Time travel, time travel. They've dumbed the people down so much that the ancestors wouldn't even be able to save this world at this point. If the Mayan, the Egyptians, and Olmec came back today and tried to literally teach us the truth about what we are, what the earth is, people will argue with them. And they'll go to quoting physics. Even though the technology of the ancients defy physics. It defy gravity. I should quit using the word defy. What it does is it just debunk it.
That's right.
It proves that it don't exist. At this time, I'm gonna read these donations and we'll open up the chat room. And in the future, I'll be doing a video on time travel and the Trump administration. He's gonna be the administration to get us to this next level, but still keep the people dumbed down about what the earth is while they do it. So people are gonna be seeing technology in the future that literally debunk physics, but they still gonna be arguing physics. Imagine that, y'all. That's how dumb the world is. And they know that. Check this out, right? Let me give a shout out to Honest John. Honest John said, massive props, very entertaining and refreshing. Thank you so much for that donation. Guys, if you would like to send a Cash App donation, it's $BROSANCHEZTV because a lot of people don't do the super chat. I just want to let you guys know we do have the Cash App is a good way because then we keep more of the income in that way. So if you like the content, help us grow, keep us making it, $BROSANCHEZTV. At this time, I'm going to read donations and we're going to open up the call lines. Let me give a shout out to A. Barnes. Can you define what a true Jew is? I will, but not on this stream. It'll take too long and it'll be off topic, but I really appreciate your support. Shout out to Astro 40K. They can find people with hair and prints left at the scene, but can't identify ET flying over the damn base. Why no one didn't follow it and see where it go? Shaking my head, people are slow, wake up, drop a bomb for that, baby. Astro 40K ain't say nothing but a bunch of big facts.
That's right.
Shout out to you, brother, and appreciate the love, A. Barnes. I'm gonna make sure I do that true Jew topic for you. Shout out to my brother Key Norfolk. He sent in $8 because this is the 8th year anniversary of my channel, Sit Down with Sanchez, which I want to plug in and say if you haven't subscribed to it, make sure you sub to all of my platforms because I was live earlier today. We got it in over there earlier, so don't miss out. Shout out to Key North, appreciate the love. Shout out to Gail Monifa, thank you for being a member of this channel. Shout out to D-Dub Exclusive, we dealing with people who believe heaven has streets of gold, which is a earth material. So telling them UFOs are made from earth material will not register. Ooh, yeah, that's heavy. That's a heavy one right there. Ooh, wait.
That's right.
That's crazy. That is crazy, though. Shout out to Dan Tanner. He said, what's up, bro? To be honest, I rock with your content and intellect. I've been a Muslim and an Israelite. You speak common sense and logic, which is well needed and appreciated, bro. Alabama Aboriginal. Shout out to my peoples. I'm an Alabama Aborigine too. Let's drop a bomb for my brother. Thank you for your support, Dantana. Thank you for being a member of this channel and for the super chat, man. Much love. Shout out to Sammy. Thank you for being a member of the channel. And Show Me Truth. Shout out to the channel members. Let's clap it up. Hey, Sammy, flat motherfucking power to you as well. Thank you for that super chat. And shout out to Dolph Obama. Says, salute, bro Sanchez. Salutes right back to you, my brother Dolph. And thank you for being a member. And again, shout out to A. Barnes. Thank you for the love, A. Barnes. Real. Appreciate that. He said the stage is set for space fraud to fall. Space Force will take over as fakettes and NASA are exposed. A corrupt snake eats itself. Interesting. Hey, shout out to Kai. Kai gifted 5 memberships. Clap it up to those 5 new members. Appreciate that, Kai. And welcome to the family, Sabrina, the Broxtons, and Lisa Lil. And to the 811 people in here, hit the like button right now. And do me a favor. Prepare. We about to open up the call lines and see what the people got to say. And you never know when we're going to be gifting memberships. Sabrina, the Broxtons, and so definitely make sure you tune in every time we're live, because you just may get gifted a membership. You know what I'm saying? If you're interested in being gifted a membership. So hold on a second. I'm going to gift 5 memberships so that I can match the brother. He gifted 5, so I'm going to gift 5. Shout out to the 5 new people that's gifted memberships. We don't get to choose. YouTube don't let you choose it. You just gift them and it selects 5 random people. So shout out to the people who been gifted memberships. If you wasn't gifted a membership this show, just remember, people gift memberships every show.
That's right.
So tune in, click the notification bell, and stick around. You may just get, chances are you may just get gifted a membership. But let's drop the call-in link though. And you know, the membership is a very small monthly payment that's going to allow you to access more content. We're going to have members-only live streams, members-only chat rooms. When that stuff happens, you're going to really see why you should have been a member. And you're missing out on a lot of content that's members-only that you can access right now. And I'll be putting some more stuff for the members up. What's today? I think Sunday, something like that. Stand by. Salutes to the entire chat room, though. And if people want to call in, we're going to have the phone lines open at this time. If you wanted to weigh in on the topic. Advanced ancient aviational technology being reverse engineered. We saw a lot of flying saucers in the sky during the 40s. But what they not telling you about this dude right here, they teaching you about Einstein, Newton, and all them. But in the 40s, you had a scientist by the name Byfield Brown creating anti-gravity technology. But he didn't call it anti-gravity. He called it the Byfield Brown effect. He named it after himself. His technology defied physics. His technology would have made them have to rewrite the physics books. But if you look at his little, this is what he would levitate these at his teachings. Can you imagine being in the 40s, going to see physicist Byfield Brown at a meeting and him levitating an object in front of you for the first time after you being taught about gravity and physics? This was a big debate going on in the 40s. Anti-gravity ain't nothing new. But notice, Byfield Brown didn't believe in no aliens. He knew that we were making the flying saucers. See, in the 40s, if you saw a flying saucer in the sky, you said one or two things. Ooh, that's an alien. Or guess what? Have you ever heard of physicists Byfield and Brown? Either you knew or you didn't know. And if you didn't know, you probably thought it was a UFO. If you did know, you knew that people like Byfield and Brown were working with the government just like Nikola Tesla. And a lot of their technology was getting stolen. Flying saucers have been explained for years. I wanted to pull this up for y'all. This is from 1952. The UFO conspiracy could have been put to rest in LA in 52 with this publishing. They explained it to the world, but the government ignored this, y'all. Look at this, LA Times, 1952. Look at there. Flying saucers explained by men of New Research University. And guess who those men were? Mr. Brown, Mr. Byfield. People, these two physicists was going around with flying saucers telling everybody we got to rethink gravity. We got to rethink what we think we know. And one name was Byfield, one name was Brown. And the flying saucers, see, people were seeing flying saucers in the sky, and these guys was going around letting everybody know, yes, that's our technology. That's an effect that we literally coined with our names. Here is an article that proved me right. So these are the real whistleblowers. The people that you see on the news today, they dare to strengthen and reinforce the propaganda of ETs and aliens. But they all know that this is a patented technology that we had since the 40s. So the people behind this technology was coming out saying, listen, this ain't no alien stuff. But you see, this stuff never blew up. These men explained the mystery. But you got to think, because when did the UFO stuff get popular? In the 50s? It was seeded in the 40s, but it got popular in the 50s. Why? You start to see more of these saucers in the sky because we started to master the technology. It had been a decade. We got the technology from paperclip scientists in the 40s, in the late 30s. By the time the early 50s was coming along, people were seeing more of this stuff in the sky because we was testing it out. And it led all the way up to the Roswell incident where one of them crashed in New Mexico. But all of the people that saw this stuff will explain it the same way. It's a silver disc. The silver disc is a patented technology from Byfield and Brown. And to this day, what do we see in the sky? A silver disc. Look at this. Why would the aliens be using technology that come from this physicist, but they from another world? The aliens from a whole nother galaxy, but they using technology that T.T. Brown and physicist Byfield came up with. Go research T.T. Brown, which is the other half of Byfield and Brown. It's two of them, but you only see one of them. His name is Townsend Brown. That's him right there. Thomas Townsend Brown. They call him T.T. Brown. So for short, here you go. Thomas Townsend Brown and he had another physicist, I forgot his first name, but his last name Byfield. So people just call it the Byfield and Brown effect. And these guys don't get no credit. You wouldn't even see none of this stuff in the sky if it weren't for people like him and Operation Paperclip scientists. And the crazy thing about it, you know, just like Tesla, they was independent contractors working with the government, which gave them a bit more freedom to speak about this stuff because they don't take an oath. You see what I'm saying? Tesla didn't take an oath. He can say certain things that the military guy can't. And that's how you get these guys in the LA Times. But my thing is like, the LA Times apparently wasn't full of just the propaganda then. I mean, they did get these guys, but you got to think, this was a new thing. People was legitimately concerned. People was literally like, yo, what the hell is that? And now that all the news media companies know the lie, they on board with it. They done sold their souls all the way in. They just faking with the propaganda and getting fake whistleblowers up there now. But you ain't gonna never see no news articles like this in our time. This was, see, because why I'm saying that, this article got the actual physicists behind. That'll be like one of the scientists that's working with the government coming out on the news saying, chill out, everybody. That's some technology that we're working on. That person will come up unalived. They giving you a fake whistleblower on the news. He ain't giving you no government secrets because he can get locked. That's treason. Dude, that goes against, that makes you a traitor. When you get into our military and stuff, take an oath for secrecy and go to telling everybody the secrets. Who you think you so special that the Secret Service men, the CIA, the FBI, all of them took an oath and they can't really tell you what's going on. But this dude right here, he took an oath. He works with the FBI and he's snitching on the whole thing. And it's okay. Man, we in trouble. Do I have any call? Don't I got a, oh, Sacred Knowledge, you're the first caller. What you got for me? Salutes. Welcome back to. Who else gonna join us here? Thank y'all for all of the support that you sent to the super chats. Welcome to the family, to the new members. And if you guys want to send a Cash App donation, it's my 8th anniversary, 8 years on my other channel. People were sending me $8 to the Cash App. So you want to support, that's another way you can do it. Tell me happy anniversary, $8, $BROSANCHEZTV. Thank you. We're waiting on callers to join at this time. And if we don't get no callers, we'll shut down. Thank you for the super chat, Joshua Tellerton. Appreciate the love. I'm going to drop the link one more time, and I'm going to get on up out of here if we don't get nobody on. Ain't no need to just draw it out for no reason.
Yo, Sanchez, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. I like this subject a lot, and I caught your show the other day on it, too. It was tight. The only thing I'd say about it is I've actually seen them, too. I've seen them several times. They put a light on me, my ex-girlfriend was. I mean, it's crazy to see these craft because it's obviously something that's not like what we're known. It's not alien, but we're not being told about. But what I think it is also it's important to remember that in the ancient text it talks about a war and that there was these flying craft. And they call them in the Bible it says chariots, but it's more specific in the Hindu stuff where it sounds like you're talking about air, like that type of craft, you know. So anyway, it's been around since ancient times, and I do believe they use those craft with directed energy weapons to destroy the ancient world. But also, I think that what they've been doing is gaslighting us by having all these fake crashes. Ain't no one crashing. It's all part of the alien psyops to make everyone believe in aliens and stuff since the 40s. You know, they've been starting it, and now they're going to go to the next level. But yeah, I don't think they were even, because I heard that this type of technology, once it gets to a certain level, there's not much improvement. Like, it's not like every year they improve it. It just stays because it's already so advanced that there's not much more to go. But I guess they probably do improve it sometimes. But I don't know if they're testing. I think they just faked the whole thing and it was all planned out. That's what I think.
Yeah. To the people asking me about those guys, the main guy, his name T.T. Brown. That's Thomas Townsend Brown. And his partner is last name Byfield. But I forgot the first name, but you don't need it. You can put in T.T. Brown and physicist Byfield, and it'll take you to their stuff. Just research it. They don't tell us about this stuff. Shout out to Will. Thank you for joining, man. The floor is open too, by the way. We got our think tank open.
Yeah,
Yeah, this a big psyop though, and I do see this turning into. I see more sightings coming, and I eventually see that these things gonna start attacking. And when they start attacking, the government gonna really play dumb. We don't know how to stop it. It's so advanced. I can't stop it. And that's so like, okay, if I want to use advanced technology to depopulate the earth, this would be a stage alien invasion would be the way to go, because now I have an excuse for why we're seeing this new technology. Because think about if the government wanted to use new technology to start wiping out certain areas, the moment we see the new technology and go to asking questions, we may figure out, hey, what if the government attacking us? So the government getting ahead of the narrative saying, look, if you see strange shit in the sky, it ain't us. It's the green man from another planet. And if this stuff start attacking the people, then guess what? The government already got the whole world saying it ain't us. Yep, the world are gonna realize if we go to war with the aliens, we're gonna lose, because it's really the government versus the people at this point.
Yeah, what's really crazy is we already saw it. Like what happened in Paradise, California. Paradise Lost. They're just giving you. It's all just planned out. But also in LA, those fires, when they attack, they don't leave no witnesses unless they want to. Since everybody's implanted, they already got the targeting system where they know where every single human's at. And now they got to they put it in the movies. They hit you with that laser, instantly, you just instantly vaporize. Like there's no pain involved, because we've already seen how that was all drone. That was all those craft to go out and burn all those houses with the lasers. They do it so fast and efficiently that, they've gotten really good at it. So we don't even have no survivors. No one's left unless they want you to have they had a soul survival in Paradise, and he put out I heard him on a video. He's all scared. He said, everybody's dead. Everyone's around me dead. I saw that video and I never heard about that guy again. I think they left him on purpose so he could go tell some people, but they most def had that song Soul Survivor. Look at that Kachina clap. Kachina, that's an ancient word for these crafts. So it's like, it's crazy how deep it gets, but they definitely know what they're doing, and they've already attacked.
I'm gonna tell you, we at a time now where either we got to get the hell up out of America or get these foreigners up out of our government. Because the people that's got us mad at immigrants, they building toxic plants in Memphis, Tennessee, poisoning people. So you got foreigners like Elon Musk, who's a South African, that's got his own place in our government. And that goes against the country. You can't have a foreign entity in our government calling no shots. And it's a private entity, a corporate entity, people. What is America turning into, a dictatorship? And the crazy thing about Americans, we talking about we want to make America great again, but we going into the same kind of situation China in, Africa in, with corporations taking over, and we're asking for it. We want people like Trump in power. We want people like Elon in power. You got people celebrating that Trump is taking away regulations from the EPA, but it's only going to affect poor people in the hood, just like what's happening in Memphis. When I'm going to cover that too, I'm about to re-upload that on the channel, because that's a damn shame, the amount of power they giving Elon. But it's so much going on and people ain't even focused. They distracted on, NBA gets out of jail and Hoover gets out of jail. And at the same time that happens, Trump just said he finna deregulate the EPA. The EPA said we and Elon Musk wait. Man, wait till I put this video up. They distracted the hell out of us, bro, with this new especially what's going on in Memphis. Oh, man. But I'm telling you right now, people will never see it coming when it come. We gonna be celebrity gossiping while they terraforming the whole place. And that's what's going on. Salutes to my panel. At any given time, you guys just unmute your mic and interject. Yeah, y'all kick your shoes off. Yeah, we chilling.
Yo, Sanchez.
Yo, what's good, Wisdom Thought? Thanks for joining.
Yo, peace, man. Peace. Yo, like I said, I appreciate you, man. You're making me see things in a whole new light, man. But for real, what you said about the like just the traffic in the air, just I'm giving you a scenario. I had a little spot. I was sitting there, smoking. The amount of traffic I'm seeing in this one spot, I just kept thinking about your videos. I said, yo, this is real, man. Like, you can't make this up, yo. So it's just amazing when you see it with your own eyes opposed to what you're seeing on TV. You feel what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, man. But they got us distracted with all this Larry Hoover coming home and all this Little Dirk in jail. They just got us distracted. It's a big ass psyop, so they know what to do, but nobody looks up no more. People looking straight. They looking left or right like Pac-Man. They don't look up. Nobody looks up. They not looking at the other dimensions, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Trump and Elon Musk are the biggest traitors to America. It's almost like we just let bro. Like, it's so crazy that they're working directly against America while saying they trying to make it great again, man. It's so crazy, bro. Wait till I put this video up tomorrow where we go into what's going on with the EPA. It ain't gonna be no doubt about it that Elon is the Antichrist. But all of this UAP stuff gonna tie in with that. But people ain't thinking, how the hell an alien get light years across the galaxy in aluminum, iron, steel? Like, they ain't showing you no otherworldly elements, but yet they telling you this thing come from another world. And it's using the same elements we got. It even got a computer chip in the middle of it, y'all. And if they open up that booger spear, I bet you the computer chip made by Elon and not no damn aliens. But hey, shout out to Melissa. I see your hand. Salutes. Y'all can just interject for sure. Peace and love.
Hey, could you put in the chat those 3 men that you're talking about, their last names?
Who was creating that technology in the 40s?
Yes.
I got you.
Because I was trying to zoom in, but once you zoom in, it gets distorted and shit. I can't see nothing on that. Another thing is I posted a whole thread on my Twitter, Melissa Webster, and it was talking about the PFAS. So how they were, DuPont. It was a whole documentary. It was called "It's in My Blood."
Yeah,
so pretty much,
mm-hmm.
You saw that? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So think about it. So if it's in everywhere, and they're saying the polar bears got COVID, or was it they're testing for this PFAS? So they're seeing who has the most amount of PFAS in them. So then when you're looking through the documentary and you're seeing about the electrons and it how that chemical, it was C8, they turned it to C6. So they were creating a shorter chain, because they're saying the longer chain, oh yeah, it has some bad, shit. It's going to cause X, Y, and Z in people. But once they started creating that shorter chain, it was actually going into the blood, into organs, and it was affecting the kidneys. the pancreas, and there was another, another major organ it was affecting.
Yeah.
And in that documentary, they're talking about this whole like, like our sewage system, our water system can't get this PFAS out.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so whatever this is my kind of like theory or hypothesis, because, okay, so if you saw that documentary, you saw how they were able to break the chains down shorter. What if whatever they were injecting into people was actually like, say you were exposed to the long chain of, that DuPont PFAS material. What if whatever they're injecting in, because now we know it doesn't stay in the arm. We all pretty much in this, in your people's know, like it was never meant to stay in the arm. What if that was actually another chemical compound to break down faster of the long chain to create shorter chains to go into specific organs and cross the blood-brain barrier?
Oh, you going
So I
deep
have
with
all
it.
this stuff.
Yeah.
So I have all this stuff on, on Twitter. I'm like, look at this, I reference every minute, of that documentary. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like boom, boom, boom.
You know,
It was
that,
like, oh, because they got to get rid of the evidence.
yes. It's amazing. Like that documentary, I want y'all to check that out. I saw it, and it's like that and what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee right now. This stuff is so common, and it's almost like the corporations are a silent military waging biological warfare on certain areas. Because after a certain point, it's like, okay, how big are you trying to expand? You already got hundreds of billions of dollars. You're a billionaire. And you now at this point, you just killing people for nothing. Like, you can't get more richer. It's got to be, because who else got an excuse to make us ill, to pollute the environments we in and get away with it? The big corporations. And it's starting to make me think this is just the agenda all along. Like, it's deeper than I'm trying to make some tires. I'm literally trying to make people sick is what I'm starting to look at these corporations like. We look at these companies like they're creating products when they're waging biological warfare on the environment and on the people. That's how I'm starting to look at it now. This shit's warfare because they don't put these plants and they don't do this stuff and they're where they living at. Like Elon Musk building a big data center in Memphis in the hood. It ain't gonna affect his health. And the cover up that they doing down there is just sinister. I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow to replay my video. But what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh shit, it'll come back to me. Let me leave the flow open. We got callers on anyway. Salute to
That's where the Bilderberg meetings come in. So you have all these people that are, in that, all these like big tech or the big companies, big ag, they come together. And I've been saying this for a long time. I'm like, they're coming together to say like, oh shit, I poisoned, with my shit, like PG&E. It's the Aaron Brockovich story. It's, Flint, Michigan, they all get together and they're like, oh, if we point the finger over here, you point the finger over there, they'll never catch us.
Yeah. They'll just argue about who's to blame.
Exactly.
They also take orders from the machine, like at the top. They don't know where it's coming from, but they get points for poisoning people. They're probably mandated to do it. They get incentives. Population control.
That's what they doing, and what they doing right now in Memphis. They're gonna turn that to a left versus right debate versus what the hell the federal government gonna do about it, because the EPA is the federal government. The last time I checked, and they just turning a blind eye, taking that check, and people ought to be concerned about that. These the people who's in charge of protecting the air and the water, and they just sold out to Elon, y'all, and they about to deregulate themselves. And 30 of the, think about this, the EPA said 30 of their policies that they put in play to protect the water and the air, they're gonna roll them back for Elon. And I said this earlier, would you eat at a restaurant where the health department rolls back 30 of its regulatory rules? I wouldn't eat at that restaurant. So it's about to get crazy, man, and we're focusing on the wrong thing for real. But
One more thing I want.
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all got it. Yeah.
Just real quick about the ship, the craft that they have a special to fly it. They do have pilots, and they can pilot it. They drive it with their mind, like they can control it with their mind. But there's not. What I figured out is there's not a lot of that going on anymore. Most of those craft are being piloted by AI. They don't need people up in there because the human mind can only operate so fast, but the AI is unlimitedly fast, Godspeed. So, just say that they have different ways to navigate, but mostly it's being controlled by machine, I think, not by people.
Damn, bro, you talking transformer level stuff, bro.
That's where we at.
Yeah, I don't put nothing past them. That's why I don't say, we're in a time now when somebody tell you an idea that's outside the box about what these people doing, you shouldn't even shoot it down. You got to consider all this stuff, because the truth stranger than fiction. And I never thought I would believe in time travel until I understood. And I see why other folks don't. That's why even the people who rock with Trump, they think it's some kind of game that his department is into this space-time stuff. But Trump, man, he really know what's up. Like under his presidential stuff, he's gonna be the president reverse engineering a lot of the ancient technology, and they're gonna give him a lot of rewards for being the technological president, which is why he, with Elon, and, he's gonna be the president that they credit for making America an AI capital. But really, everybody gonna praise Trump for that, when really he just made us like China. Biometric identification systems. You don't own nothing because everything digital. Wireless this, keyless that, just like China, man. But see, America is becoming China, and we don't see it. So we celebrating all the changes, not seeing how we becoming like China. For example, right? China don't got a lot of environmental protection. So they gotta wear masks everywhere, because for China to be the AI capital that it is so polluted. These big AI data centers, they create so much pollution that Chinese people gotta walk around with masks on every day, and the air is just foggy. It just look like, goddamn it, like just red, right? So we going to Mars, all right, and that's because our sky gonna be looking just as red as China's sky around this motherfucker. So, and that's because of Elon. Now, people don't realize everything we say that we happy about, that we got clean air, clean water as Americans, that's going away. Because if you look at what's happening in Africa, it ain't that they don't got water, they don't got clean water. Ain't nobody in the earth, when you saying they don't got water, they don't got clean water. They got air, they don't got clean air. So we see a lot of disease, famine in Africa, people dying, right? That's about to be America when we start bringing in these new data centers. People in Memphis is already walking outside with masks on because they getting sick because of this new data center in Memphis. Now watch this. Up under Trump, the EPA is about to deregulate itself and step back so Elon can turn America into an AI capital like China. But we don't realize the price that China paid to be this tech capital, AI capital, and that China is the price China paying is the expense of its people's health. The air in China is polluted like a motherfucker. But guess what? China is very technological. China is an AI superpower. But everywhere we see these technological empires, the fucking environment is suffering. And the EPA regulations are so low. Just like in Africa, the EPA regulations don't exist, so people can just pollute the water. Corporations can go to Africa and do all kind of experiments they can't do it nowhere else because ain't no environmental regulations. So up under Trump, they about to decrease environmental regulations and they telling y'all it's for freedom when really we becoming a third world country. That dude, it's crazy because America look at Africa and say, man, they ain't got no environmental protection laws. That's sad. But they about to take away our environmental protection laws and y'all celebrate just because Trump doing it. It's a good thing when we do it to ourselves, but it's a bad thing when we do it to other people. Make that make sense. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fall back. Yeah, y'all talk to him. We got Melissa, Will, Wisdom of Thought. Yeah, ladies first. Y'all take that thing. Yeah, talk to him for sure. That's crazy.
Yeah. So just looking at, again, in that documentary, it was like Trump was pulling back, like what you're just saying right now, like on all these regulations, like, oh, we're trying to make, our land, air, and water, like more safe, like let's get these chemical crap out, like stick it to these companies that have been poisoning us for how long. Well, yeah, he's taken away those regulations so these companies can do it.
Yep.
And then talking about the Tennessee, it's so wild because my kids' uncle on their dad's side, he was a nuclear, he was in the Navy. So he did nuclear shit in the submarine. And then after he got out of the Navy, then he worked for a nuclear place in Pennsylvania where he grew up. Well, then fast forward, like my son was like learning about, like, oh, there's this, like some kind of AI center. So he happened to be in Tennessee for his job. He's like, oh, I'm going to go look around, like drive and check it out. And my son was like, do you remember when I told you, Mom, when I went to check that place out? And he got like surrounded by, like whatever, not the police, but it would be like their security shit. What are you doing here? Blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I just heard about this data center, so I thought I'd check it out. Like, oh, you can't be here. You can't be here. Then fast forward from that time, guess who's working there now? His uncle, Justin. So he's like one of the main people at the Tennessee plant, making $500,000 a year. I'm like, come on, bro. We can't make this shit up. It was like, I told you, like, some goofy stuff was going on, and it's just amazing, like what's going on. And he's like, well, he can't tell me much, so it's like secrecy shit. But he's like, well, I can get you a job. I'm like, dude, don't work for that. Don't work for that company. I'm telling you, it's all bad. It's all wrong. I don't care how much money you're going to make. This is like pushing us into that, like the Terminator movies that we used to watch.
Yeah, we're definitely there. And
yeah.
The people making a lot of money, they don't know how much blood on their hands, or either they do know. But I'm telling you, that's crazy that it's literally people with lifelong defects. See, we see this happen in third world countries where these corporations that go over there and pollute the environment so that us Americans can have these cheap clothes or whatever. And those people that have defects and stuff, Like it's certain parts of Africa where they never can plant crops again because the topsoil has been damaged by companies that paid big money to the leaders to do experimental research on these new seeds. And they didn't do the seeds on their land. They took these new seeds to Africa and it was experimental. Messed the land up. The people can never plant crops on the land again. Now they depended on American corporations and supermarkets like us. When at first they had their own local agriculture and like what we had. You see what I'm saying? So it's by design. It's by design. Like they pay the leaders to be able to gain access to the land and do experimental research, to do like what they doing with Elon. The EPA is about to let him terraform entire America. Because basically what they saying is we need to become an AI capital of the world at all by any means necessary, even if it mean the health of Americans. Even if we gotta sacrifice the health of Americans, so that's what China did. China's so damn polluted it ain't even funny. But they're a technological superpower though. But that's the price you pay. All you got to do, listen, it's a computer game called Sim City. I used to play it when I was a young man. You get to build your own city. You can make a farming city, a technological city. The possibilities are infinite in Sim City. And the thing is, it's very realistic. So you can run a very realistic simulation. And what I'm telling you is what I remember as a young boy playing Sim City. I would love the high-tech stuff, the nuclear power plant, the nuclear test facilities. You can have that in Sim City. And when you start to introduce this nuclear plant and all of this high-tech stuff, the pollution, now your other problem in the game is we're technological, but now I gotta find a way because there's more pollution I'm putting out. Now we be thinking we're so high-tech, we're gonna reduce our pollution. No, we're just gonna increase our technology, dummy. The people in power ain't saying we're trying to decrease our pollution. They're saying we're trying to increase our tech. They don't give a fuck about the natural environment. And that's why I said I don't think these people are humans. Because what they're doing, it kills him. Like, this would be suicidal if they were one of us. To me, they are machines, and they're making an environment full of things that would be healthy for a machine. Barium, aluminum, plastics. Like most of the stuff we breathing in, if I was a machine, this would be my utopia. But if I was an organic, natural human, it would be becoming my hell. It'll be harder to live every day as an organic creature. So that's something happening on Earth that's gonna cause many of us to become transhumans by the year 2050, in my opinion. And that's the agenda Elon wants. It's crazy that this is all starting in Memphis, and the pharaoh that was associated with Memphis was Ramses, but they also had the teachings of Akhenaten going through Memphis. And you know, Akhenaten, he's an ancient tech cult who was into Neuralink, cheating death, brain-computer interfaces. My theory is that the cult of Aten was the beginning of an ancient hive mind that became connected through brain-computer interfaces. People started to get the chip. When we see the pharaoh with them big old hats on, that's Neuralink devices. And I believe all of the men around the world who had those hats on were one mind. They started to merge and become this one mind. You can call it the devil, Satan. It's one in many. The God of this world, whatever many people may call it. But these are ancient humans that merge with AI. And the war on this earth is, are you going to merge with AI? Or are you going to merge with the ancestral realm? You got the astral plane, then you got the metaverse. The people who merge with AI, they can never access the astral plane. They can only access the metaverse, which is a content. These are a bunch of man-made worlds that exist in supercomputers, where these souls can beam their consciousness from computer to computer. This is what the stars are. They're holographic satellites. And a lot of these people in power, they aren't archons, reptilians, or aliens from another planet. They are astral travelers that are able to project their consciousness throughout all places in time and space. Well, not all places, because they can't project to the higher realms. But in these lower realms, they're gods. Just by knowing this information over everybody. But I don't want to talk too much. I want to keep the flow open if someone want to.
Yo, Sancho, I gotta show you this picture, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I could share the screen real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. You got your computer screen, or you gonna
Oh,
stream
no, I'm on
share?
my phone.
All right, go ahead. You got it.
Wait, how do you
Hit the green arrow. It's pointing upward, and then choose the screen you want. Shout
now
out
there's
to
a picture to the go ahead, man.
Sarada Amaru. What's good, sis? Shout out to you. Yeah, just hit the green arrow. It's pointing up. It'll
I
ask
see
you.
it.
Yeah, it'll ask you which one you double right click the one you want. Sally McDermott, welcome to Illuminated Initiative. Oh yeah, we see it. Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, man. When I was walking downtown, and I just happened to see this building with this you can see a picture, right?
Yeah, it's look like a mud flood building, damn, or some shit, cause the window's so low. But yeah, go ahead.
Nah, you can see the hat with the wings, right?
Yeah, he got the wing hat on, like Mercury.
Yeah, but you see the snake on the top.
Yep, sure
Yeah.
do.
Nah, when I think that, you're the first person I thought about, because you always talking about the Neuralink, and it's crazy because
Yep,
it ties into a lot of stuff, man.
that's big
It's real
facts.
deep.
Like the dude with a wing helmet on, with a serpent on it. In Egypt, you know they had a winged serpent, right? A winged serpent deity that represent transition and all that out of body experience. Let's talk about it since we bringing up Neuralink. Let me just show y'all something. This is why the pharaohs wore them big bulky hats. They were tech gods. The Egyptians spent their whole lives trying to cheat death. And guess how you cheat death? With Neuralink. So if Jesus wore a cup on his head that gave him immortality, and they learned all of this stuff from the Egyptians who was doing it first, who was walking around with cups on their head for immortality. And the cup got the serpent on it. The brother just showed you an image. And the image, the dude had a winged serpent device on his head. And the Neuralink got the symbol of a serpent on it, y'all. Let me show it to you. Here it is right here. What did the serpent promise? Immortality. It promised them to be like God. Now watch this. The serpent told them they was going to be like God when they was already like God. They was immortal. They was made in God image. The moment they listened to the serpent, they became mortal creatures, because to be like God is the thing that we was lacking, that God had, was a mortal existence. Everyone start off immortal and perfect as gods, and we don't know about the devil knowledge. The serpent teach us the dark knowledge of the yin yang. And that's when we learn how to die. You were a God that didn't know how to do nothing but live, because in our original existence, we're just immortal beings of light. We don't know the darker half until we visit the mortal world or underworld with a serpent. That's where we at now in the simulation. When they said Jesus had to go down to hell to get the keys from the devil, you're in hell right now fighting the devil. That's your body. Listen, your mind fell from a higher reality. You're a fallen angel. When they said Jesus went down to hell and he died on the cross, you're on your own cross right now, because in the base reality, the real you is hooked up to a game on a big computer tower. That's called the cross. We all are really dead right now. The real you is dead, and it died on the cross. And when it died, it went down to hell to fight the devil. That's your dream in the simulation right now, trying to overcome the simulation and the influence of it. Greed, lust, glutton, all of that stuff. And when you defeat all that, you get the keys of immortality. You master yourself. We're literally living out the story of Christ. But the serpent symbol was on that technology. That I'm glad he put that up. I'm gonna fall back. Yeah.
So would that mean something as far as like your chakras, in a sense? Like we're in the lowest part of our chakras. So right now, once we master what's within that part of the lower of our chakra, we can move on to the next.
Yep. You're right. You're right. Like your consciousness is trying to rise up from the space of its spine and its own sleeping God body. And to people who confuse, let me drop the link to the OG Street Media TV, George Macon in the house. Hey, George, I don't know what I got to do, but I got to get you a collab with you, man. We're going to have to hit the brothers organization up with some donations and stuff to get his time, because check it out. George, they waging war on the people in Tennessee. I don't know if you heard about it, but I'm going to be replanning. I'm going to fill you in on that. It's crazy. But listen, it say Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Who is the Son of Man, y'all? That's the Antichrist. You can't make this up. Don't y'all know that the term Son of Man is what's the Antichrist title? And a lot of Christians are confused on how come Jesus got the same titles as the devil? The morning star, the Son of Man. It's because the Son of Man is the sin of man. They changed it. Remember now that the church they start to translate the stuff, but the sin of man, with this abomination, when they said that the great fall of man, because man committed this sin, that was when man bit the forbidden. It's like biting this forbidden fruit is merging with AI, is taking a chip of what we call the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast is a hole in your head because you got a brain computer interface. But it tells you right here, remember, this is the symbol of the serpent. Why is Jesus synonymous with the serpent? And he got so many parallels to the devil, because who y'all worship and calling Jesus was never the true God anyway. Jesus is a demigod and a tech god, which is why I'm telling you, ye are gods. The true Christ is not the one that you're getting from the papacy. It's the one inside of you. But this thing said whoever believe in him will have eternal life. Our ancestors didn't teach that. Our ancestors taught if you want eternal life, you got to unlock it from within yourself. You already an immortal God that got the potential to have eternal life, but you got to work on yourself. The ancestors never taught just believe in him and you got eternal life. The reason they teaching that is because people was believing in tech gurus just like we believing in Elon Musk right now. That's like Elon telling everybody, if y'all trust me and trust my vision and believe in me, I will make death an option by 2050. That's what Elon's saying. So what Elon is saying, if y'all believe in me, I'm going to give you eternal life. Elon is saying that now. But eternal life never required belief until the tech gods came and cheated death with this technology. Now, if you believe in them, they'll give you the technology, and yeah, they'll chip you up and you'll cheat death, but that ain't eternal life. That's eternal death. That's condemnation. The Bible speak of it. That's why the symbol of it is the serpent. It's the trick of the devil. But let me go ahead and, keep the flow open. Shout out to Street Media TV. Salutes joining us, man. We get deep.
Open your email up. I sent you some stuff based off of what y'all was talking about. I can't stay up there long, but I sent you the foundation for Bill Gates' foundation in Africa and what they're doing with those artificial seeds and what they've been doing. This is my wheelhouse. This is the stuff I've been teaching on for 10 years online. So I like when we had these conversations. I also sent you right there is what they had in January. That's all the heads of states around the world. They came together to talk about what they're going to do for the technology going forward. So they put out this information to make it seem like these countries are against each other, but we already got a one world government. All the other shit they doing is a smokescreen, is a charade, is a fucking stage. When they had those World Economic Forums going, this whole thing is a stage play, man. That right there is important. That article I just sent you right there. You hit that X. That's based off of what you're talking about now with the technology and Elon Musk and what they want to usher in by 2030. With the UN 2030 agenda. This is Forbes. This article is about 7 years old. They was telling you everything you see happening now. They was telling you what was coming. This was the stuff like I always. 6-7 years ago when we was teaching on stuff like this, people was making videos calling us all crazy. Now this stuff is coming to fruition. Everybody want to listen now.
Yep. They always too late, man. You know what, George? They wonder why the people in power stay ahead of us. It's because when people come try to tell y'all what's going on before it happened, y'all call them conspiracy theorists.
And this is the thing. This ain't George talking. This is them telling you what they're going to do.
Facts.
Forbes magazine is a very formidable source. They're telling you, but they're showing you. So when you read this about our bodies will be augmented, it's telling you everything. So I heard the lady, she about half hour ago, she was talking about the blood and certain things that they were doing to get into the genes and they're doing that with nanotechnology. What they're going to do is, and remember I told y'all this, what they're going to do is they know they have the planet of men is walking around erectile dysfunction. They're going to use nanotechnology to say that they can cure erectile dysfunction. And all y'all going to run up, all these men going to run in there to get in line to get their shot. And when they do that, that's how they're going to inject you. They're going to also do it where they're going to say, hey, through this gene splicing and stuff, we can actually heal your children of debilitating diseases. So while you say no, your wife is going to take the child down there and get it. So they're already doing that now, during the shutdown. You can Google this. Look at what happened during the shutdown, what happened at the University of Pennsylvania with the stem cell, what they were doing with the blind lady, and over there in California. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that they don't tell you that they're doing. And I was reporting on all this stuff 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So when you look at that, what else I sent you? I sent to Bill Gates. I was trying to find the UN 2030 agenda, the 7 goals. And one thing, UN 2030 agenda, 7 goals is for them to create an all-inclusive society. Now, let me ask you a question, Sanchez. Tell me a time in history where we had an all-inclusive society.
It's a but see, we've been telling folks in the new world, when the new world order come, it's gonna be a one world everything. It's gonna be so much unity and peace, but it ain't gonna be for our good.
No, and that I'm trying to find. I want to send you this UN 2030 agenda. There's 7 agenda by 2030 for sustainable global development, and why you see
all inclusive. Listen, man, that right there ought to be a red flag. But
Well, what they're doing is why you see like the trans. Remember, I told you before, everything is ran on trans. One group is pushing transhumanism, the other group is pushing transgenderism, but it's all centered around trans. Remember, transgenderism is transhumanism,
It
but
is.
both parties are centered around this thing because if you go back, and I told everybody, I sent it to you, go back, Fordham University, Michael Swift, he wrote in 1987, he told you about the GAY revolutionary, the agenda, right? All that stuff is there. You can't post it up on the channel because they're gonna give you a strike, but you can read it, right?
It's
It's
crazy.
all right there. It's right out of Fordham University, right? It's also in the Library of Congress. It's not something that they hiding. They're telling you what they were doing. So when you see these trans people coming out and getting all this power and going into all these different things, this is all part of their agenda of an all-inclusive society. But in the back door of that, they're pushing a whole bunch of other stuff. So you got to look at the world forums that they're doing. January 17th, right? No, it was the 17th or 25th. I just sent it to you. Right when Trump got elected, they had a whole world meeting where all the world gangsters came together and suits came together to talk about how they want to divvy up land and all the things that they was going to do. All this stuff. Now that stuff don't hit the news. Nobody knew nothing about that. You had to be really in tune and informed in the studies to know that they had this meeting.
Yeah,
They're not putting that stuff on the
that's
news.
just like, bro, they built the whole AI data center that has 100,000 GPU and like 35 turbines in it, NASA type shit in Memphis without the residents even knowing, and it's a Elon Musk project that's making the people sick right there. And check it out, right? This is a big story that I'm about to, man, this needs to be talked about because the EPA is stepping out of Elon Musk's way and saying, listen, we're gonna have to decrease environmental regulations if America gonna become an AI capital. And I'm like, so now the people that's responsible for protecting our air and water is saying, fuck that. The price we got to pay to compete with China is to let the corporations come in and put what they want in the air and in the water. And they're about to roll back 30 different regulations that regulate the sky and the air just for Elon. So when that happens, we ain't gonna know what we breathing and what we drinking moving forward. But I guarantee you the Bible ain't lying when it said that when the Antichrist get power over these resources, people gonna be getting sick.
Yeah, well, I did it. I did a video about 5 years ago where I said the global race to control AI. It was between the U.S., Russia, and China. And all they don't hide the stuff. It's all right there. When you see that situation happen in Wuhan, and they talked about when they shut the world down, it ain't had nothing to do with that, man. It had everything to. I told everybody it had everything to do with the stem cell research, the gene splicing, and removing the CC5R gene. And they understood that when you remove that in certain people, it causes brain enforced brain cognition, like it make you smarter and it can make you immune to certain diseases. Look it up. I'm not making this stuff up. They locked the guy up, put him in jail, but then they took the same technology and did it in Cal Berkeley. All this stuff was going on during the shutdown. Man, let me see,
I'm gonna do a disclaimer so the algorithm can't take this down. What we're saying on here about any type of medical issues, it's just our speculations and theories. Consult with your local medical experts. Whatever you hear us talk about nanotechnology or anything medical related, we're not professionals. We're just people online, and this is just my conspiracy theory channel where I'm thinking outside the box, nothing more, nothing less. Go to the experts for professional advice. We have to say that, wink, wink. But yeah, there we go.
And we put this on the table too. Anything that we're saying is not something that's it's a public record. It's in the records. These things are widely known, so we're not conspiracy or making up anything. This stuff can be verified and documented. Matter of fact, I'm sending you the article now.
But look, we pulling up. But the whole thing is what people gotta peep. While we going and giving y'all sources to what we saying, don't y'all find it crazy that the algorithm will still flag it even though we got their sources?
Right. Hey, salute, man, bro. Yeah. Hey, salute, George, man. You was going
Shout
in.
out, yeah.
Salutes, man.
Salute.
And
what Trump finna do, he just finna wind the people mind up for a minute. They trying to keep people confused and scared and worried about something else until they get through what they plan, their 2030 plan. It ain't gonna be that long. You see what I'm saying? And that's gonna be towards the end of Trump term. So man, if people can understand that, or if they fall victim to this hoax, I'm trying to be careful with my words. If they fall victim to this hoax, then they're gonna be paying attention to it the whole time. So when we dropping gems like this can offset what they trying to do. But as long as people are pushing these narratives and stuff like that, and keeping the people confused, that's what's keeping us from being on point with what these people trying to do, man. Because it's all a game. They done use Donald Trump to get in bed with the people, to get in good with the people. A lot of people think that he for us. And so when he say this out his mouth, the first thing they gonna say is, man, Trump exposing the truth. Trump real. He trying to break the
You know
government
what,
down.
Key? I don't want to cut you off. I want to
Yeah.
know what them people gonna say about the people in Memphis who getting COPD, because that's when I start getting pissed off. Those Trump supporters gonna have to tell the black folks in Memphis they lying. You ain't sick for real. Quit faking. And that's some bull like that. You tripping. Now go ahead, bro.
Facts. You bet that's facts.
Check the email, Sanchez. Pull this article up while the brother talking.
That's
All right.
facts, man. Because they're actually, while we looking up in the sky, they at our necks. You see what I'm saying? So we got to pay attention,
Yeah,
man, and
man.
stay on point and support the people who bringing this information out, man. Shout out to y'all. Salute.
Hey, shout out to the OG Big Dog Philly.
Now watch this, Sanchez. When you look at this article, now I'm right behind this. I'm gonna send you the one what they did. They locked this man up, and I'm gonna show you what they did in Cal Berkeley. The same damn thing. And all this was going right for the precursor to the shutdown.
And this one here is embryo editing, CCR5. The London patient and what's this one here? Give me a rundown on this one here.
He started to alter the genes to make you immune to certain diseases, right? But he also was causing more brain cognition to make you smarter. So when you run through it and see when you run through it and read it, your brain will pick up on it.
Oh yeah, you know when you give me these right here, George, it becomes a tab that I keep open and I turn it into a whole lecture. Because what I do, I'll read it and then I'll come up with a title and thumbnail. And I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do with all these. I'm gonna make all this a lecture. It's gonna go into my next joint because it's so much. This tie into everything going on now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's connected to all the things. And see what happens is a lot of people got ideas of what's happening, but they can't. I'm showing you what they're actually doing.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
The thing is, they don't even hide it. We just don't know how to find the information. It's right there in front of you.
People, I was telling folks, look, man, they want to cheat death and put us in holographic bodies. Now, guess what our people like to say? Where your source is at? I've been going to the World Economic Forum's website right here for years. This is 2045.com. It'll show you right here, George, what we saying ain't no. And you know what's crazy? We couldn't even make up stuff like this, bro. This is straight out of a sci-fi movie. You giving me too much credit. And folks will do that. Sanchez, boy, he's really good at making up stuff. No, I'm showing people what the tech gurus of the world and rich people got planned, and they ain't fucking hiding it. You can go and pull it up. They telling you their plans, and this one right here for the next to the year 2045. So a person ain't got to ask for sources from you can pull it up. When people say, well, that's pseudo, you telling me they gonna put your brain in a chip and upload your soul into a hologram? Read these milestones. Read from Avatar A, B, C, and D. It ain't and then and like how George go on the websites, just like that one, where it is. This one right here. with the gene editing, embryo editing. People will say that's pseudo. You know, when you tell them the capabilities of the people in power.
Pull up, I just sent you another one, the one they doing now here in America, because they copying the same thing. It's for in Kyle Berkeley. And all this stuff went on, and then you can see, man, listen, they playing us, man, big time. And they using Elon Musk as the smoke screen out in front, but they already got this shit well in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say something controversial. A lot of people ain't gonna agree with me, but you'll see. Right now, for the 2030 agenda for global sustainment, they and women's rights around the world, they push ushering in all-inclusive society and rights to women. Donald Trump's job is to come in and make the world angry to usher in a woman president, and a woman president is going to be the one that's going to usher in all of this kind of stuff that we talking about now. It's going to be a woman. All this stuff is already set up. It's already predicted through the 2050 agenda.
You know
it's
what?
already there.
It tells you that the great whore worked with the beast, and she was feeding him the children, and it's showing you what you saying about the woman getting in power, and then now this whole thing with the babies and stuff. The Bible ain't been wrong. We just ain't been interpreting it the right way.
There you go. We don't know how to read it. But if you look at, I implore people, look up the 2030 agenda for global sustainment and women's rights. Please, not me. It's the UN 2030 agenda, and everything is set in place right now. That's why when you watch TV, you see these women playing male roles and doing all this masculine stuff. And it's not about feminism. It's an agenda that's being pushed for all-inclusive society and global development through the one world government.
And the whole "my body, my choice" is really that. It ain't the woman's choice. It's an agenda that the government been had, and they use the media to make it the woman to make them think it's something for them. Like it ain't no choice that the women, they put that in them. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's
Watch
crazy.
This.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this to you so you can read it you can see it. They can get actually. It's about gender. It aims to achieve gender equality and empower for all women and girls. This is part of the UN Agenda 2030, right? That's why you see what you see going on right now. I keep telling people this stuff, but everybody, oh man, that's pseudo. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yo, this is the goddamn World Economic Forum in the 2030. This is the UN. This ain't George. What are you talking about? Oh, that's pseudo. Okay, look on your TV. Tell me what you see. Look around.
Sustainable development.
Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, go right here. It says, yep, matter of fact, let me send this to you so you can read the first paragraph so people can see what I'm saying. So that way, that's why I was saying before when we had these conversations, we got to be able to, we can't, when you talking to the devil and playing his game, you got to know, you have to know, because he's a deviant. You have to be able to talk that language. You can't go there just saying anything based off of how you feel. You got to go to where they at and throw their shit back in front of them so they can't deny it. Because he's very crafty. And you gotta study him.
He'll use any little mistake against you.
There you go, and he want to make you look like you a fool, so nobody will follow you. Open your email up and watch this.
All right.
It ain't me. Trump, and all the racist white men in America right now that's pushing all this stuff, making everybody mad. All they doing is the male Robert Stahl, the male what they call it, toxic masculinity. All of that stuff is being pushed through now by certain groups and to push the woman in power. So if you scroll down, you go to that first article where concluding and negotiating the process that spanned more than 2 years and featured the unprecedented. I'll let you read it. If you go back up to that first paragraph.
Okay. Concluding a negotiating process that spanned more than 2 years and featured the unprecedented participation of civil society on the 2nd of August 2015, governments united behind an ambitious agenda that features 17 new sustainable development goals, SDGs, and 169 targets to be achieved by 2030. These goals and targets seek to realize the human rights of all and to achieve gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. They are integrated and indivisible and balance the three dimensions of sustainable development: the economic, social, and environmental. I want to read the economic, the social. Damn, that's crazy.
I'm trying
Bro,
to find the one. I gotta find the other one with the 7 things, and it breaks everything down to you, and it's telling
bro,
you what they're doing.
listen, that's the economic, is the digital money system. The social
Yes.
is the fucking social credit score, like what China got, because they don't want. To me, that's where we go. And environmental, where the EPA deregulations, because they finna bring in all kind. Man, listen, and they saying it's to help us. This all part of this goal. The goals and targets were adapted to stimulate action over the next 15 years in areas of critical importance for humanity and the planet. All of this stuff tied together, man. Each year,
And I'm gonna send you another one where they really breaking down the women, because it gives a full breakdown of what they want to do for women and girls. This is why you see the women empowerment thing going so strong. It's being pushed by an agenda, by other powerful white men to break other men. When you see all these men being accused and these powerful men being brought down, this is an agenda, bro. It has nothing to do with what people think. That's why a lot of times, man, I just be listening to conversations, because I know people don't be knowing what they're talking about. They
right.
making assessments based off of what they see, instead of looking beyond the curtain. You gotta look beyond the curtain and see who's the culprit behind this shit, man. Like, hold on, let me see this one here, but I
This
can't
chart
find.
right here is good because it's number one off the back is deep, because the no poverty thing. Elon, what he was saying was his idea of the future is a universal income system. How many of y'all familiar with that? And he said that will literally eliminate poverty. And people is so behind it, it's crazy.
Wait a minute, I gotta find this other article, man. 2030 UN 2030 agenda. Why for sustainable development and goals? Let's see. I don't. For some reason, they keep
And
taking this thing down, but I was able. But it's not. It's not the 17. It's the 7, the main 7. And I read it to you before, but it's been a while. And when you read it, it's going to tell you. I just sent you another one, but give you more detail on women. Now, don't get me wrong. We want rights for women, but this ain't. But the rights for women that they pushing is not giving women rights. They're using women in the trans agenda to take rights away from women. They're masking it as if they're giving you rights, but they're not. They're doing it right in front of your face. And that's the stuff I've been trying to tell people, but I get a lot of pushback because people don't understand.
Yo, George, what's up, everybody? Is that part of what the WHO was talking about with that one world order?
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's where that article was first that you talking about might be under
I
that.
got it. Here it go. I got it. Nope, I got it. Let me save this. I got it. Here it go, right here. Says you got to read this. I'm gonna send it to you. Then I got to jump off. This is what I was looking for. Here it go, right here. Hold on. Well, they try not to let me get this one. Nope, I found it. They buried this shit too. That right. Hold up. I emailed you another one with the woman, but this is the one I was looking for. But when you look at the agendas of what they're doing, and why part of the agenda, when you hear the masses of the people that they say that they don't want to get married, right? They don't want to be in relationships. That's all part of the agenda too. They're pushing because they don't need you to make families no more. They don't need you to make babies. They're replacing you with machines. So now they take away all the TV shows with families. They got women. You still gonna have sex and make babies, but you don't want to be in a relationship with the person no more. Everybody's selfish. You're only thinking about yourself. You're all being socially engineered and brainwashed to live into their box. So man, this thing is, I'm telling you, man, when you really, really open up the book and start seeing this shit, is diabolical on what these people are doing, man, to us, man. And the sad part is we don't even get it. But I'm telling y'all right now, I just sent you, if go into your email and get this other one, because I want you to read these 7 things, because this won't blow your mind, saying that you a nerd like me. When you read this shit, you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad.
Okay, so
you go down to people. Start at people.
Okay. To the people, we are determined to end poverty and hunger in all their forms and dimensions, and to ensure that all human beings can fulfill their potential in dignity and equality and in a healthy environment.
So wait, before you go to the next one, that means that in the one world government, a lot of corporate structures and a lot of things that was in, they're gonna be, this is part of them wiping out your nationalities and everything, right? Taking away your gender roles and everything. But keep going.
We are determined to protect the planet from degradation, including through sustainable consumption and production, sustainably managing its natural resources, and taking urgent action on climate change so that it can support the needs of the present and future generations. You know, the contradiction though with this is that they said that climate change is got a lot to do with, you know, the way these factories are putting a lot of pollutants in the air, giving off greenhouse effects, and they blaming it on the fact that the consumers want more products versus the fact that the corporations training people to get addicted to these brands. It's a whole program, and they know that they creating a problem just to solve it. We know Hegel's dialectic, but the whole thing I'm pointing out is the contradiction that y'all want to do something about climate change, but you're deregulating the EPA. That's a big contradiction. Like, how the hell you're gonna clean up the earth, clean up the water and the air by lessening the environmental laws? That's crazy. Then it say prosperity. We are determined to ensure that all human beings can enjoy prosperous and fulfilling lives, and that economic, social, and technological progress occurs in harmony with nature. Bullshit. Peace. We are determined to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies which are free from fear and violence. There can be no sustainable development without peace, and no peace without sustainable development.
Now stay right there real quick. We are determined to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies. So now when you see this inclusive societies and they're now forcing you to say that a man is a woman, and they're destroying the world that we once knew and creating a whole nother world. How could that be just and peaceful? They're forcing you into something that you know that goes against the laws of nature. Now, if that person want to be that, fine, but to force you to do it. So this is what I'm saying, where they're breaking up the nationalities and the gender rules. They're making you into a machine, a robot.
Yeah,
you're just like a number now, right? And where they put the technology in you now, you're not going to be Sanchez no more.
You know what's crazy about what you saying is that, like you said, if a man want to act like he's a woman or be a woman, another man don't have to acknowledge him that way. And that's what this mean. Like, you're gonna force this man to call that man a lady. He can call that man what he wanna call him. Like, if you think about that, that's so correct. It's anti-constitutional. You can't make me see reality through your lenses, man. Like,
so look, before you read the last one, now watch this. As you're reading this, and you see you're smart, you like to syncretize things. Do you see how this transposes out to what we see every day now? Just by reading the article, you can see it being played out, and you're reading it.
I want to really go deep to when you were saying, like, because I've been telling folks the trans movement is the trans movement, period. Because the same laws that they're going to need to undermine the Constitution, it goes like this, right? It's like when humans become cyborgs and they start competing with humans, you can't compete with half human, half cyborg, just like a female. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, man.
That was my fault. That was me.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I thought somebody was hopping on or something.
No, that was me. My bad.
No, I got you. But the thing is this, right, how it goes out on a legal level. A man that identifies as a woman can go play women's sports. There's a dude beating these women in the track and field right now. It's a dude beating them up in boxing. See, when they allowing that to happen for a reason is deeper than just all inclusive and gender inclusive and stuff. What it is this. once humans become cyborgs, they gonna want to give the cyborg humans human rights. Now, in the real world, once a man become a superhuman, he can't get human rights no more. He forfeited his human rights. How are we gonna make him equal to humans? And to me, this is how humans fell to the bottom. Back in the day, there was a war on the earth, bro. And then we lost power. And that's how the systems of government was created. That's when the dynastic age started. Who were the first dynasties? The first transhumans. That was a big, look, that was a big power shift on earth. And that's about to happen again, because the first humans to become transhumans, they gonna take over all of the industries. Either you're gonna become one or you're gonna be obsolete. So,
Yeah.
you know, and it's crazy because my thing is, why don't we have two different legal systems? One for the transhumans, one for the regular humans. Now we need two different NFLs, two different NBAs, because how am I gonna outplay a transhuman? You feel me?
You know, I think that when you look at Germany and what Germany was doing with their technology, I think that we already had it. We had it during the time of Egypt. We had it during the time of the Indus Valley. When you look at people and then you look at these great civilizations and the technologies that they had as opposed to other people, you've had these things that's been going, and that's where your secret societies go. They have this knowledge that other masses don't have. And Germany, you know, when America had their planes, Germany had these rocket engines. And you know, they had to kidnap some of the German scientists and bring them here just to develop some of that technology. So you had these things in what you're speaking to already right amongst us. And you know, they release information or technology during certain time periods. You know, so this stuff is here because you said
You know
something about
what?
2 years ago. You said something like 2 years ago we were on a stream, and you talked about the technology from the 1800s going into the 1900s and how fast it went. From what was it, like the houses and stuff that we was living in, all the way to the car, like technology. I'm saying it secondhand, but we was on the stream. It was like 2 years ago. You said it. How we advanced forward so fast, and I can't remember everything the way you said it though. We were on a stream one time, and I remember I was in my car.
Yo, says, yo, it's a movie called, my bad, man, I ain't gonna cut it like that. Yo, it's a movie called The Iron Sky, because he was talking about the German technology. You could just look it up real quick, 2 seconds, and just look at, like, read the, you know, like the summary of it. But basically, the movie is about, I don't want to say it, but again, Germany, they left the planet and went to the moon, and they came back. They decided to go back to the moon. I mean, go back to Earth. And
yo,
you can read it though. Yeah,
let me tell y'all something about the future of space travel. They already said, here go what Elon said. Tell me this ain't a bunch of BS, right? Elon said, if humans are gonna go to space, we're gonna have to overcome the problems what we're gonna face, which is being able to train all of these people in a safe environment to have them ready to be astronauts. And he was like, this is where things like Neuralink is gonna come into play, because we can be in any simulated environment and explore these places before we go. So they're saying we going to space, but we gotta drill in your head and chip you up first so you can train for it. Okay.
You know what that means when they say that though, right? When they want to be in these spaces. What they want to do is, and I got the videos for this. I broke down the power of imagination, and I was explaining the difference between imagination and thought, because they're not the same. And they can control your thoughts, but not your imagination. If they can chip you and they can see what's in your imagination, the image, the precursor to life's coming attraction, the image that pops into that dark place. They already can go to, meaning they were saying that, like Richard Dawkins and them, they were saying that you could be tied up and be about to be dumped in the fire, but you can imagine yourself in a whole different place and your body's there, but you're no longer there anymore because you didn't already went to that place. So when they want to Neuralink your brain, they want to find out where imagination comes from, and that's part of the transcendence, and that's how they can create the realities. To remember, we create different dimensions with our imagination. We imagine certain things and we create them. Like you think that you imagine things and you put it out to the universe that it's not created. It's just not in this reality. They know all this shit already. The problem is we get called spooky for bringing this stuff up. And I believe I gotta pull up the book. The Germans, I put this on the floor, Sanchez, because you might have knowledge of this as well. The Germans got hold of ancient knowledge. The Germans were going into different places and raiding different lands and digging up tombs, and they got hold of ancient knowledge, and that's how they was ahead of everybody. They found scrolls.
People think listen, George. Isn't it safe to say that if World War II didn't happen, that everybody probably be speaking German right now?
Yes. And Germans still run the world down. They control all the distributions. Most Americans white Americans are of German descent. Let me shut up.
These are facts though, because when people say small hats and a J word, well, a lot of them come right because listen, they thinking that the Germans that's in America, or the small hats that we working with in America are the ones that was going against the dude with the big mustache. They don't realize they was working with the man.
Can I say this? Can I just say this?
Now tell me, am I wrong or right about this paperclip thing real quick, George? When we defeated the H-Man, all of his top scientists and all of that was our spoils of war. They had to work for us, just like, the hacker that get caught. They ain't gonna lock him up, but you gonna come work for the CIA and shit like that.
Hey, look, I'm gonna make a point, right? Yeah. I'm gonna send this. I'm gonna email this to you. I want you to open this up. I'm ready to make a point with something they're never going to tell you this, but I'm gonna make this point. And what I'm saying is factual. What I'm ready to say is 100% factual, and I'm gonna show you about us. And I'm a speaking a little biblical, but I'm not from the dogmatic way that they teach us. When I talk about birthrights and how our birthright was stolen and why those small hats always cling to us, they control our image, they control our music, they in control of everything. They cling to us to get certain rights. They got the anti-Semitic stuff, but they got it all by clinging, throwing their arm around us, right? I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you what they did. Check your email. I'm gonna prove my point.
I got you.
I'm gonna show you. And our birthright has nothing to do with no supernatural spooky thing. Right. It's just that when you deal with our people, we went from crowns to chains. We had the technology. We had all these things, and they knew this. When we got conquered, they was controlling banking systems, and they stole our birthright. Now watch this. I'm gonna prove my point. Hold on. When you pull up this article, right? Now you see the man name. His name is Chaim Solomon, right? Watch this. I'm gonna read this. Chaim Solomon was a Polish-born American merchant, best known for his actions during the American Revolutionary War. Now, Sanchez, what is the American Revolutionary War?
When America revolted against who the fuck did we revolt against? England. Britain. I was gonna say Britain, yeah.
All right, so watch this. Watch this. Watch this blow your mind.
Broke away from Britain.
Known for his actions during the American Revolutionary War, where he was the prime financer. I'm gonna do Umar Johnson 3 times. Prime financer to the Continental Congress. Born in Lezo, Polish, Lithuanian Commonwealth, Solomon, right? Solomon studied finance in Western Europe before immigrating to New York City in 1775. After the Revolutionary War broke out, the same year, Solomon supported the Patriots by providing financial services while working alongside Robert Morris, right? And this guy's a Jew, right? He's a Jew. He was financing Europe and he was financing the United States. And he was the provider of America becoming America. Without this man, America don't exist for white folks. He helped convert French loans into hard currency by selling bills of exchange on Morris' behalf, also brokered large donations to the Patriot cause. This included a crucial $20,000 loan in 1781 that enabled George Washington's decisive Yorktown campaign. Now, mind you, this guy, watch this. Chaim Solomon was born in April 7th. Now, I'm going somewhere with this, right? 1740, right? He was a Spanish Portuguese Jew, right? So let me ask you a question, Sanchez. If you come to me with an idea, and let's just say you came to me 25 years ago, but now it's 25 years later, and your idea has turned into a multi-trillion-dollar conglomerate, right? But when you came to me, you had nothing but an idea. I had everything, and you begged me, and I turned you down a couple times, and then I said, all right, man, listen, when I fund you in the beginning when this is nothing, what do you owe me, Sanchez?
You owe me damn near half, or at least you owe me probably more than your profit.
So how come they don't tell you when they give you the what happened to them over there? When they give you, they had all these things. They didn't have all these rights. How come they never tell you that it was a Jew that funded the Revolutionary War for the blue coats and the reason why
You
they
know
won?
why? Because they'll tell you who owns America.
Okay. So watch this. So now the lie. So now, while they said that they was going all these things, they control privatized banking. Now, how did they get control of privatized banking? They latched on to the black struggle, or who was the original Hebrew people. They stole their birthright, and they became those people. And that's how they was able to get all these rights. So now when you come here, right, when you deal with, and this ain't got nothing to do with no spiritual Jesus stuff. It has everything to do with kingdoms and kingship. When you look at a certain group of people, they're the only group of people that don't know who their fathers and grandfathers are, don't know their ass from their feet or where they coming from. That would be our people. And they linked on. So now when you look at this, right, and I'm showing why they have so much power. Because what happens is when you go back to the beginning, him and another person funded them. They gave them the money. So all they do is sit back in the cut. And they get everything, all the rights. But the thing was, a lot of things that was supposed to be afforded to them was really us. So I be wanting to break all this stuff down. And it's not hate speech. The thing is, the devil, you know how they give you the term the devil's a liar? The devil ain't no liar. The devil don't lie at all. He give it all to you. It's up to you to decipher what he's doing. Yeah. He don't lie. He may he may embellish a little bit, but he tell you everything that he's doing.
You know what I found out was crazy? Like the devil would tell you the truth, but he won't teach you how to seek the truth. So he know if he can he can tell you the shit all day and it won't matter. Like, that's crazy. Because you will never accept that over your religious program, and most people anyway.
So he was, if I implore people to look this up. He lived over here. He resettled in Philadelphia. He was financing of the American Revolutionary War. He was the guy. And his people rest in that. So when you and why are you showing all this, George? But you ever notice, Sanchez, whenever they show the forefront of science with genes, when you deal with Oswald Avery, or you deal with the double helix with what's those guys' name? These all German Jews, but all of these people is at the forefront of all the technology. It's because of all this. They controlled every damn thing, all the financing and everything. So they brought up everything, and they were the ones. So whenever you read something, when they got in regards to science and editing and the DNA companies, 90% of it is owned by them. The information, the way you get information, the companies owned by them. So yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, and the reason why I'm saying that, because when you deal with them and you deal with their story or where they say they come from, that was our people that was there, that was building that stuff, man. That had the technology. So now what happens is when the Germans go and they come with all the technology, they went to all the lands that our people came from and got the technology and got the knowledge, and they built the technology. All that stuff, when you see them praying to the Black Madonna and all that, man, listen, now let me shut up, because I don't want to get the channel in trouble, because it get real fucking deep, real deep, especially when you get here, just when you even get to the point of what the war was about. And then you transpose it all the way into now and what's going on now with Elon Musk, all those people coming out of South Africa, who they were, and all that stuff, man. What's the ones that control the diamond mines in South Africa? Them, they small hats. And Elon Musk, all them people's together, man.
Man, listen, These are some big facts, and I'm glad you put this up. This is a Sephardic Jewish family. They spoke Yiddish, and I was telling folks like that is the description of those pilgrims that came over here. Like my thing is, people think that America broke away from England and and all that. We still a colony of them. To me, they tried to write history like those first colonialists was beefing with Britain and all that, but I read something that said Britain was still funding them for so many years while they was over here and stuff. Like, why would I be funding some people that I'm mad at who rebelling on me? It sound like y'all all together to go and colonize this new land. And and they don't want the people here to know this is just one of Britain's little corporate businesses that we call in America. But they saying it's like a independent state that broke away from Britain because we would see the conflict of interest, in my opinion. So I don't think that they ever broke away. But yeah.
And somebody said that their rivals was the Rothschilds. I really want to tell you guys that that family, they're small hats as well.
Yeah.
Oppenheimers, Rothschilds, all of them, what they did was, in order to break up the monopoly, they went and dispersed throughout the world. They went into Spain, they went into the Caribbean, and they used Spanish surnames and all these different names. So even when you think that they're not, they are.
Yes.
They're controlling everything from the shadows. They steal birthrights.
They got monopolies on all the industries damn near. Yeah.
Yes. The Rothschild families go all the way back to the 15th, 16th century, man, out of Germany, bro. So the Oppenheimer family, they go all the way back too. They were the ones that was controlling the diamond mines. So
yeah.
And when you look at also what I'm telling you with America, you see these world forums and all these groups, these Germans and all these groups, they those people, bro.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's crazy though? You look at the dude on the oatmeal box, the Pilgrim, and you look at these Rothschilds and small hats, and you look at the monopoly man who own the all the property on the board, and they still don't know who these people are. You know what I'm saying?
And this is the thing. I'm gonna say this. I jump off. When you deal with the biblical term of the Hebrews or the Jews, right? And it's telling you when they lived in Egypt, you couldn't tell them apart. And they tell you if the Egypt were black, Nubia, Sudan, and you got the so-called Hebrews living there amongst them, right? Because they were people. Just take away the godly stuff. Let's just deal with kingdoms, right? Where you can see that those kingdoms were built and were there. These people, right? Yeah. When you see these people, they were all black. So now when Jerusalem and all those places in Egypt fall, how do they get dispersed throughout the world and everybody come back white?
Yeah.
How? So what I'm trying to tell y'all is they went to Hitler and that guy, scratch that out. That guy, they knew this knowledge and they went to those lands where they was building these, because it wasn't just Egypt. You got places like Pumapuku, you got places down in South America where they built certain things in Indus Valley, over in the mountains of Europe. They got they went into all these places and got that technology, man, that they don't want y'all to know. They had no fly zones over these places. That's where they got all the technology from. That's why during Operation Paperclip, they had to steal their scientists, man. This stuff is like, but the technology, Sanchez, a lot of things when you breaking down and you showing those people, that stuff come from the lands that we come from. That was our people. Doing all that kind of stuff in early times, man, and building things.
That's crazy, man.
They stole the birthright.
And then what's crazy, I believe, do you know that whole folklore of the leprechaun real quick? Like the leprechaun is this Yiddish top hat, this small hat character, right? And it says that when he give you something, what he always get in return is way more than what he gave you. So if you ever watched the Leprechaun movie, he will grant people beauty, he will give them money, but he get their soul. He'll always come back, claim their soul. Like if you think about it, What if the mythology of the leprechaun was our ancestors trying to tell us the nature of these damn small hats?
Yeah, and look, Sanchez, when you see, because I be trying to tell our people, listen, give yourself some credit, bro. When you look at the ancient Americas, from South America up through here, you see those big kingdoms that was there, and the ones that they built golf courses. You go into these places in India, and you see the Dravidian people, the black ones. You go to those places in South Asia, and then you go into Africa, and you see these kingdoms, right? They weren't white people, bro. That was all. That was us and other groups. How come these people now are called indigenous people at the bottom, and these newcomers that can't even be under the sun in those places now are at the forefront of all the technology and money? Where at one point we had on crowns, we went from crowns to chains. So that's why I be trying to tell people. They what happens is it's hard to get people to understand because they mix it with religious dogma. Take the religion out for me. Just take all the Jesus coming out the sky stuff and just look at kingdoms and people that was actually there, right? That ain't them, that's us. In the Americas, in Africa, and all those different places. That's us.
You know what, George?
They got all the technology now. We have none of it. So when y'all see Sanchez breaking down that ancient technology, that's us. That's not them. They weren't there yet.
And that's what I'm here to prove to them, how great we were while we looking into Elon and all them. They using our shit for bad. We use this same technology to make a good world. But check this out, and this is my opinion. That was the golden age on Earth. I got receipts and proof for that. But here's something I want to point out to y'all real quick, because I know we got to get out of here.
Off, bro. I'm going to be listening from my car. I got to go for a ride. I'm going to jump off.
All right. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Salutes to George, man. Appreciate your time, bro. And salutes to you, Rhett, and I see you. And to Marlon Wells, appreciate the donation. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to turn the mic over to y'all, and then, we're going to let y'all get the floor. But, one thing I'll say, like, Kanye West is crazy. I don't rock with him. He still want to be part of the system and all that. But sometimes they piss him off, and he say some shit, in my opinion, that let me see why he got to go through this humiliation ritual, I think. Because, look, he started calling out the Grange family when he got mad at Kendrick Lamar. And I've been calling out the Grange family. George was just talking about the small hats that's monopolizing the industries. The Grange family own Warner Music Group and Atlantic Music Group, and it's other small ones that they own. Most of the music beef that we've been seeing for the past couple years have been from UMG and AMG artists, just like Cardi B versus Nicki. That's UMG, AMG, Drake versus Kendrick. So my whole thing is UMG, AMG, the Grange family have monopolized the music industry with beef, just like Democrat and Republican. It's been UMG versus AMG in the music industry for like a decade, nigga. And this one family came in and popped it off like that. It's damn near, it's crazy. I did documentaries on it, but let me fall back and pass the mic. Who want it, man? I'm gonna fall back. Y'all can, say what y'all want.
I mean, y'all was cooking tonight. Y'all was really cooking tonight, because that's what I meant when I was talking about Elon and Trump. When he first found out he was getting that money, and he started throwing up the high-o, them the same people. George just said it all over again. Them the same people. They ain't enemies. They the same people. So yeah,
people because guess what they be saying? Kanye West, MK Ultra chip be glitching sometime. No, Kanye West is a spoiled rich guy, and when certain people piss him off sometime, he fly off at the mouth, and that's why he being blackballed.
Yeah, they looking for a way probably do the same thing like they did with Diddy. They gonna only let you get to a certain point, and they're gonna find something on
you. They had to say, look, Kanye is a liability. He our nigga, but when he don't get his way, he go to complaining to the people and trying to expose us and play revolutionary conspiracy theories, right? So they said, look, we gonna stamp Kanye as just a crazy man, and that way nobody pay him no attention, no way when he trying to, you know, when he get mad and try to, and so you just can't you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater with Kanye. Listen to him mostly when he pissed at a person, because when he was pissed at Kendrick Lamar, that was real jealousy. And then he came out now trying to blow the lid on the Grange family, when, dude, I've been trying to blow that lid. And now that you mad at Kendrick, you want to expose these small hats. Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on right now? Because like he was touched on it too back in the day when y'all was naming them oligarchs, the Rothschilds and the like, all them. They made the plan for what's going on now in Israel way back then, and it's been going on ever since. You know, that plan been in place for, so that's why the Republicans and the Democrats, they done switched powers, Republicans now, and ain't nothing changed right there. They still continuing on with the same plan.
Yeah, they is, man. Hey, let
And
me say this
like,
real
you would
quick.
think the other side would be saying, "Oh no, we're gonna do this." Nah, they ain't. They doing the same. They continue the same plan.
Hey, y'all, I gotta get out of here. I don't want the stream to go over 4 hours, and you know I've been streaming all day, but I'm gonna shut this one down. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow the whole weekend on all of my channels, man, on different important topics like this. There's a lot going on, so share. Be on the lookout for notifications. Thank y'all, everyone that hit the Cash App and that hit the Super Chat, and that's gonna keep me making more content. I appreciate y'all, and peace and much love. Salutes to the
We
panel.
appreciate you.
I see y'all on next one. Much love, Marlon. Appreciate it, y'all.